Hello, everyone. I thought we'd come on a little early while Stephanie puts up the post on Instagram story so everybody knows we're doing this.
I don't know. This is a bit of a surprise. We were going to originally do a pre-tape show.
I don't know where you got that.
I didn't. I never heard you say it yesterday.
I know.
So I got a little jarred off.
I was
She
letting
runs
you
into
say
my
it.
bedroom.
I was letting her say it, but we pre-taped yesterday.
I'm
but during
excited
the
about
pre-tape,
it being live.
I kept hearing her go, "We're going to cover it," and I kept thinking in my head, does she think I'm going to pre-tape this?
I did.
That would mean,
yeah.
Now, in Stephanie's world, she would only have to watch it once.
Yes.
That would mean I would have to watch it 3 times. There is absolutely no way that's happening. We're going to do what we did with Jamie Kern-Lima's podcast. We're going to react to it. Stephanie and I have avoided all morning the clips. You guys have been putting, I guess, funny clips on Twitter.
I've been gone. I left the house.
Yeah,
Stephanie was like,
house.
I'm out of here. I'm like, I'm out of here because if I get on my phone or if I get on the computer, I'm going to be reading about this. I left and came back maybe half an hour ago, went into the shower, and now here I am.
Yeah,
that's it.
That was it.
That was it. I can't read about it because
she went up to Mount Tabor and just stared blankly
into the sun,
into the void.
Yes, I went like this.
She went up to the reservoir and she was like,
why is everything Mount Tabor?
That's the only place I can think.
Nancy always goes,
where else
she went
would you
to
go?
Mount Tabor.
Where else would you go?
Well, I went to the salon this
Oh
morning.
no, you want me to tell them where you really went? I was joking.
Yeah,
about
I went to the
mountain.
salon this morning, and it's not you tell them whatever you want.
Oh, Leslie's from South Africa. Hi. Ooh, we have people here from Scotland. Hello, how are you? Our friend Angela Dawn told us to pause our video every 15 seconds when we start the show so Meghan can't get us a copyright strike. I don't personally think she's going to do that because she didn't do it with Jamie Kern-Lima. So unless Emma wants to do it, I don't think Emma's going to do it. And plus it's very hard to do.
Trust me, we'll probably pause it every 15 seconds.
Yeah, and we might do it.
I would imagine. I would imagine. Nancy has backup, and it's called Grey Goose.
I'm wearing my glasses. Yeah. So, hi. Oh, you're near Vancouver, Abbotsford. Oh, hi, Justine. How are you? I love Vancouver. Oh, we've got someone from New Brunswick.
Ooh.
Sussex, New Brunswick. Hello. How are you? New Brunswick is gorgeous. Hello. How are you? Okay, so
Mississippi. Hi, y'all.
We've got our Grey Goose. You've only had this much this week.
I know. How good am I?
And it's only Tuesday. No, I'm kidding. No, this was from the weekend. We've got our Grey Goose because everyone was suggesting that we take a shot every time the word authentic happens. The people that have been watching the clip, I guess she says it a lot. Are you guys going to get us messed up?
Yes.
Okay. Mom and Dad are aware that we are taking shots, so don't worry. They are going to come here right after and check on us.
Wait, what? How old are you?
No, if they see us falling off our chairs, because Meghan saying authentic could be a lot, Stephanie.
They're gonna come check on us.
So sometimes people worry. They're like, "Girls, don't drink so much."
Oh,
when we do our drinking games.
Oh, okay.
Stephanie, can you focus and just?
I'm trying to do 2 things at once. Sorry. I feel like this is a form of torture for Meghan. She's waterboarding us through podcasts.
Man. Watching you on Rewind. Oh God. And I'm glad we did that. I hope everybody got something from that video yesterday. I hope everyone got Auburn a little knowledge about who Emma Grede is, because a lot of you would have went Kardashian. A lot of you would have went into this podcast not knowing who she was. But we wanted to out Emma and make sure you guys know that Emma is just as bad as Meghan, even probably worse.
Ooh.
So if I haven't seen it yet, but if they bring up the institutional racism or all this joy and all this stuff, just remember that Emma had no problem being the Kardashians' doormat for years. She never ever stood up for herself.
And also the clickbait was so desperate when she spilled the tea. Oh, the tea is hot. Yeah. Again, what are you going to talk about? What are you talking about? Harry and your sex life with Harry? Is that what you're talking about?
Gross.
Your lack of his foxy behavior?
Gross.
Is that what you're going to talk about?
Oh,
it's disgusting.
God. Oh,
I told you it's a form of torture. It's awful.
It is, Roni, over an hour. That's why we were giving you the option to watch this. You don't have to watch it. We need to react to this. And again,
we got to get it out like a sneeze.
there is no way that I'm going to pre-tape this show and have to watch it 3 times. There's no way, because I have to edit it.
She would die.
Then I have to watch the edited version. It would kill my soul. Please don't make me do that. Thank you for letting me do this live.
And we're just giving you guys the whole podcast so you don't go on to Emma Grade's Kardashian's page.
Even though the comments are amazing.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Maybe today or tomorrow.
Yeah, you don't have to click on the podcast.
Don't go to her page and give her views.
Well,
for the love of God.
They've already done an amazing job at not doing it. Let me tell you guys what the number is right now of Emma's podcast, okay? Let's see. Now, let's remember that Meghan has 3.8 million Instagram followers, okay?
Yes.
Stephanie and I have less than 10,000. Okay, I just want to put the numbers out there real fast before I tell you the number. Okay, Meghan's podcast with Emma has been out for 12 hours. Okay, 12 hours. That's a long time.
This is big numbers for Emma, though.
It only has 39,000 views. Okay,
It's been out for how long?
12 hours.
Wow.
Let me tell you how many we have of just doing that Emma video yesterday. Okay.
We have
And
far
again,
less.
we have less than 10,000 Instagram not fans, but friends. Okay. Let me bring it up on the old the old YouTube. The old YouTuber. Ours has been out for 16 hours. Okay. We have 63,000 people that have watched it.
We
already.
only have, and she's got 3 million.
Now, last
3
time,
million followers.
last
It seems
time
they might be bots.
Last time I checked, the math ain't mathin', right? Ladies, did you hear the kiddos are being removed from the line of succession? I hope so. I haven't
I've been
heard.
seeing little rumblings on my X page here and there about how they're taking down names or something. I don't know. I haven't looked into it yet, but I definitely will.
We need confirmation, obviously.
Yeah.
It'll be a great day, I'll tell you that much. I will be dancing naked in the streets.
Jeez.
Emma thought Meghan would be a draw, not so much. Well, see, that's what I don't understand. Now, what we say in the YouTube world is it does well on the front end, and then it does even better on the back end. The front end means like the 24 hours you put out your podcast. Stephanie and I do pretty well on the front end because we have such great friends like you, and we're all friends here, and I think everybody wants to talk, and it's good. But then you can also do well on the back end. So like, let's say I look at a video I did last month and it's got almost like 500K, that's doing very well on the back end. Now, Meghan should be doing really well on the front end if those fans of hers actually exist. So obviously they don't. Right? I mean, last time I checked, right?
I feel,
unless you're buying people, it's just not mathing. Because Stephanie and I have almost 100,000 friends, subscribers, but friends mostly, and we average about that many views on the back end.
Yeah.
The YouTubers that have like YouTubers that have like 500,000 or over 100,000, and they just average like maybe 12 or 15 on the back end, that means they bought their bots. Do you know there's bots on YouTube?
Yeah.
I didn't know that until last night.
Of course.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why it's
That's
like
crazy.
Yeah, but we've been trying to prove this. Well, we have been
I didn't
proving
know it
it.
was YouTube.
We've been proving this for years on X, Twitter X, is that like Khloe Kardashian puts out a post, okay? Let's say she goes, "Happy Mother's Day." She's got what, 33 million followers on X, and she only averages about 10 to 12 comments. Guys, are you kidding me?
Let's swap seats.
You have 33 million people following you, and you get 12 comments on a Mother's Day post?
Yeah, it means bots, though. I didn't know there were YouTube bots.
You guys don't see this right in front of you.
I had no idea you could buy bot followers on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
I had no idea.
No, I'm talking about X.
And you know how I found out yesterday? Because Stephanie was looking at comments, and then she accidentally hit
I love reading all your
like
comments.
on a bot.
I didn't
And so
mean to.
I found out immediately because one of our friends on here told me and said, don't like that bot.
No, I was
and
going
then
to delete
47 bots started coming, and I go, oh my God.
I didn't press the delete button. I accidentally pressed the like button instead of delete.
Yeah.
So then Nancy was like, you accidentally pressed the, and I was like, oh
Czech
God.
Republic.
I read all of them.
Representing in the Czech Republic.
Yeah, they are. Lulu's mom says they're both from the same farm. Yeah, Kardashians, Emma, Meghan.
I thought YouTube was more like they were better at that. I don't know. I thought, but maybe it's just me.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. I didn't know you could buy bots on YouTube. It's the first I've heard of it. I don't know why people would want to do it. You then don't get that cool plaque.
And you don't.
How do you get your plaque?
And you also don't get real people talking to you.
Yes, that too. But
why would anyone care about bot comments?
Yeah, I mean, and I appreciate everybody who helps me out too and tells me, like somebody said, Nancy, you like something, and then like, because this is your channel too. This isn't just our channel. So we appreciate anytime you correct us on something or say that's not the, this is da. I thought Meghan for some reason was wearing Diana's earrings in the interview. I guess those are earrings that Harry bought her. So my bad.
I thought it was Prince Charles gifted her those.
No.
I mean King Charles, sorry. I thought King Charles gifted her those earrings.
Oh.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
And then she had the balls to actually wear them on this podcast.
I think we can start it now.
But I just wanted to end. I want to end on the bot thing real quick. It's like we also have to remember that the Kardashians and Emma and Meghan, they're all about quantity. They're not about quality. They don't care. It's the type of fraud that we've been seeing with the lip kits, with KKW Beauty, with Meghan, selling out of her jam and now having to restock. These numbers aren't adding up because there is a form of fraud behind the scenes. And we've been proving this time and time again. You can't go around and say, I have 33 million followers on this platform and only have 12 comments, and then expect people not to go, wait a second, that's a form of fraud.
Yeah.
You're telling us something that's not true.
Grace is right. King Charles gifted her a tennis bracelet.
Okay, I don't know.
And she wore it in that parking lot photo that one time. Yeah,
she's such a.
Hello, Sidley twins. Can you add Happy Doggo Restaurant? Yes,
Rescue in Thailand. They are brilliant. They do so much for the dogs in Thailand. Please look into them. Thank you. Oh, thank you for telling us.
I got it. We're gonna feature it.
We'll feature it. We love it. We have a whole list of things that you guys give us, DM us, tell us on the lives. Thank you so much.
But today, if you enjoy this live, please give directly to the shelter that we are featuring today. Today it is Waiting Under the Willow Foundation. It's a Houston dog shelter. Texas is a huge kill state, you guys, and this place is great. I looked into it.
The heat gets to Houston in the summer. It's not good, so we got to keep them cool. We got to keep those air conditioners running, and that means we got to send donations.
Yeah, so this is a great rescue. We prefer that you go directly to them, let them have all the money, 100% of it, and that makes us so happy. And this is a great, and I want to thank the person that mentioned this to me, because this is a great rescue.
Thank you.
Really love Waiting Under the Willow. Very cute. Okay, guys, are you ready? Get your drinks ready. I've got water. Stephanie's got her Polar. And then we promise we will take a shot every time we hear the word authentic.
I have my Trailblazer shot glass.
Yeah. I don't know where my Trailblazer one is, so I grabbed that boot.
Oh, it's a St. Patrick's Day shot glass. Boot. That's cute.
I think all my stuff is in storage right now.
Okay, let's just get to this shite show.
Okay, guys, are you ready?
Yes, go for it.
Okay. All right.
Could rewrite your public narrative from scratch. Is there anything that you would do differently? Is there any part of you that feels any sense of imposter syndrome? Today, you're going global. How can we not? In the first wide-ranging interview about her new business venture as ever, Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, controversial, celebrated, and undeniably motivated, is reshaping her definition of influence. When you think about the failure rate for first-time entrepreneurs, does that ever concern you?
My faith is greater than my fear.
Today, she speaks candidly about her drive.
When my husband and I, when we think about investments that we make, is it value aligned? Is it mission driven? It is perfectly okay for me as the founder and the owner of this company to say, sorry, what does that mean?
Breaking the rules.
Really? Yes.
Oh,
That's like,
stop it, Meghan. No, you don't. Do you
yes,
do
I
it?
do. And at a certain point, the only thing I want spread thin is my jam.
And what it truly means to own your own narrative.
It was great.
I thought it was spread. The only thing I want spread thin is my jam.
Is it jam again?
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
don't
this,
do it.
all this.
Don't
I
get
know.
Way to get my voice back.
In this revealing episode of the Aspire podcast, Meghan shares the hidden cost of ambition, how vulnerability fuels her resilience, and why her vision remains unapologetically bold. Would you ever do something just for the money? So how do you walk the line between owning your own narrative and feeding the frenzy?
Might have copyright, so I'm gonna go. Okay.
Yeah, just get to this.
Yeah.
End this monstrosity.
I know.
Make it stop.
No music.
And I am
Yes.
dying to get into this new brand launch because I think this specific audience is one that is obsessed with pivots, obsessed with, changing what they're doing.
Yeah.
A lot of people thinking about starting businesses or starting their own, ventures. And that's exactly what you've done. But before we get into that, I really want to understand where you got the entrepreneurial bug. Did you have, like business owners or founders in your family? Where does it come from?
Oh, goodness. My grandfather on my mom's side, he used to have an antique store.
Okay, she just said my grandfather on my mom's side. Nah. That means she's lying.
Oh, she touched
And I
her
would
nose.
always be oftentimes after school with him, helping with his antiques and watching what it's like to, just be in business and also customer service.
Mm-hmm.
And then my mom, though she was a travel agent for many years, she also used to do, like not a county fair, but street festivals and things like that, where you have little pop-ups and vendors.
Did she just call her mom a carny? She
Did
just
she?
called her mom
She
a carny.
did. I don't know.
Dude, how many times we should take a shot every time Meghan goes like this to answer a question. Okay.
The higher up you go, the bigger the lie.
Yeah, it's
the
like,
higher up,
ugh.
it's the big sign.
She's looking for the answer.
It's the old Seinfeld joke.
Yeah.
The higher up on the face, the bigger the lie.
Ugh.
And so we'd go downtown, she'd buy fabric and she'd make dresses and would sell those. And when we were down there, we'd go to downtown LA, I would buy with my allowance, just sort of the overstock. You can buy like 1 yard at a time. And I started using my own sewing machine. I would make scrunchies. So when I was about fifth, sixth,
Where are the pictures? Where are the pictures of that, Meghan?
Pictures, please.
We want pictures of that.
grade, I was selling scrunchies for $1 a piece at school.
Mm.
And so I guess it starts young when you get to see that you can have your hands involved in something and really be able to share that more broadly, but also you can earn at the same time.
Yeah, you're stacking the cash. $1 a scrunchie. I mean, come on.
$1 at a time, but it was great. It really did spark something in me.
Yeah, and at that time we were loving the scrunchies. So you were probably selling through a bunch of that.
Okay, so when she put out her Girl Scout cookie photo, when she put it on Instagram and she said, I started selling things at a young age, why didn't she include the scrunchie?
Why didn't she put the scrunchy stuff? That's
You
a
mean-
great story.
You mean to tell me you had a sewing machine in your room
Uh-huh.
and you were sewing together scrunchies and there wasn't one picture of that? That's really hard to
Yeah,
believe.
you should have used that made up story.
Yeah.
Imagine if I was doing that now. It would probably be pretty good.
It would work out, I'm
Yeah.
telling you. So take me back to the beginnings of As Ever, because I'm
Yes.
guessing that, like so many founders, you've been trying to get this business off the ground for a while. It's finally launched and to
Yes.
much fanfare.
Oh, goodness.
So
Yeah.
I'd love to know, I want to understand, like, how did it start?
I knew that I wanted to.
You know how it started? American Riviera Orchard bombed. That's how it started. Let's hear her lie.
Put something in the world. And for years, we've been out here for 5 years now, really trying to decipher what do I want to share?
Mm-hmm.
What do I authentically, organically want to share?
Oh
And
crap, we got a drink. Here's the first shot. We'll keep going. Okay,
Damn.
keep going.
how to translate that. And, truth be told, I had just been making a lot of jams and preserves at home and sharing them as holiday gifts with a lot of friends. And it was one morning, beginning of the new year, so many friends at the same time had texted saying, I don't know what it is, but your jams just make me so happy. And I thought, maybe that's the thing, because I do believe it was,
We got to play that, dude.
but that's not what I was sitting around doing every day. And so my real passion was in this way of sharing. And I love being in the kitchen. I've always loved cooking. So, I thought maybe I could translate it into a smaller brand, and then made a very big pivot, as you say, when I went from about to onboard a CEO and a small team to having Netflix as my partner.
How is Netflix her partner?
How is that even feasible? You liar.
But I don't understand. How are they her partner?
Because they air the show? Is that how that's not a partner.
She's not in the Netflix shop. I know this.
But she's also on Emma's show, and Emma's partners with the Kardashians, so this makes sense.
While we were gasping from our shot, she said that the reason why she thought of the jam was people were around her were saying, your jam makes me so happy.
Yeah.
So we can't forget that.
That takes it to a completely different level.
Totally different level.
And yes, and goes very far beyond my ideas of, I can sell locally.
I know.
I could maybe be at a farmer's market. I thought that would be cute.
I'm going to do global Netflix.
Yes. So suddenly it changed quite a bit. And then the offerings, of course, will expand to meet that same demand and that, interest, which I'm grateful for.
So talk me through that partnership a little bit, because so many people, when they start, they're either bootstrapping or they're going out and raising money. You did actually what I did, which was to take a partner. So what does that look like to you right now?
Wait. Her partner is Kim Kardashian, Khloe Kardashian, and Kris Jenner. Let's keep that in mind while she's talking.
Did she say
she said you decided to take a partner and I decided to take a partner. Wow. Netflix is Meghan's partner.
They're not, though.
No, but she's doubling down on the lie. Okay.
Yes. Well, their consumer
she keeps looking up.
Products goods division has typically done lots of merchandise and bespoke and interesting brand work, but for pre-existing shows.
Right. So it's like a Stranger Things, like the top titles.
Yeah, Stranger Things, Bridgerton. So you could easily go Bridgerton, Regency era, go and do an incredible collaboration with Pat McGrath or do something with Liberty of London with that thematic. So where things were different with me, of course, is that it wasn't a brand that was established. It was my ideation and doing it with them. We're developing it as we're going. And so I think, as you know, in building brands, it doesn't happen overnight.
What is she? I don't understand what she means.
She's saying that with the help of Netflix, they're building it as she goes.
Okay, so she did bring up the shop. Now, am I crazy, or she didn't bring up Squid Game? She brought up Bridgerton.
We'll get into that.
What the hell?
No, she's trying to relate to the Netflix.
Okay, so she's saying that Netflix came to her, but the reason she can't be in the Netflix shop and do a collab like that is because she's not an established brand.
Yes.
And it takes a long time to do a brand like this, even though she's had 5-7 years to do this.
Can't happen overnight. I guess the difference with me is that so much of that work that can typically be done behind the scenes for most founders, there's just so much curiosity that you are building the plane while and flying it at the same time, but you're still in the building phase. You just don't get to build and
Wait. She wants us to forget then that she put out those lemon baskets with American Confederate Riviera Orchards.
Yeah, she wants us to completely forget.
How many years ago was that again?
That was only like a year and a half ago.
No, it was like 2
years ago. That's what I meant.
Wait a second. She's not making any sense. Okay. She had so much time and there was no curiosity. She put out those lemon baskets and then when she put out those
it was a soft launch
lemon baskets. She should have had everything ready.
Yep.
Quiet.
Well, it's a gift and a curse, right? It's one of those things where there must be a part of you that's like, great, there's an interest in what I'm doing.
Yes.
But there's also just such scrutiny in what you're doing.
There's a lot of focus on every detail and
your lemons were rotten and your flowers were dead. That's not detail. That was right in front of our faces. You literally sent dead flowers and rotten lemons to people, and we weren't supposed to see that.
Yeah,
I guess we're all blind.
It was a year and 3 months ago.
Yeah,
and but what we're saying is when you put out PR packages, the product's already done. Kim Kardashian never puts out her perfume, and the perfume's not already done.
Every moment of quiet.
Do you every single moment quiet,
everything,
quiet, and everything?
It really does. It really runs the gamut. But at the same time, what a blessing that it creates and generates so much buzz and so much interest. But I'm still never willing to sacrifice or compromise on the quality and to take my time. Someone else's urgency is not my urgency.
Damn right.
You urgency. You changed America. Wait, what?
You know what's funny?
It happened in only a year and 3 months.
There's a bunch of TikTok videos of the boxes coming in the mail and they're all dented and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, I don't know what the quality is.
I mean, I honestly think that that's a great way to think about it. With this partnership, do you think it brings more scrutiny or is it all upside?
I don't think it brings more scrutiny. I think it certainly brings more attention and curiosity. How could it not? Especially because it's a new chapter for Netflix as well from the CPG side. And really, when you link it to the Netflix series with Love, Meghan, it is where content and commerce can meet in a really unique way.
This is where we go again, guys. Remember our video a couple videos back where we said she wants to be the trailblazer for everything? She created lemon. She created the heavens. She created women. She created feminism. She created dish soap. This woman is a narcissist, in my opinion.
So I think with season 2 coming up, we've been able
It's not season 2, Meghan. Stop lying.
Stop lying.
Stop lying.
Stop lying.
I'm glad we're not taking a shot every time she lies.
to really maximize that opportunity also and look at what I'm making in season 2 and see that
It's not season 2, Meghan.
It's part 2. It's part 2,
reflected
you
and
liar.
complementary in what the brand has an offering.
And how are you really thinking about that? Because obviously the brand will live in between the show. It's going to live while the show, if the show doesn't continue, it will just, I'm assuming that the brand just continues to grow.
course.
So how are you actually thinking about that partnership? Because I know when I started, that initial partnership that you do in business, you can get it really right, you can get it really wrong. God knows I got it wrong enough times. Oh my good. Yeah, because you know what? I certainly.
She's acting like she doesn't know who she is. Did you? Well, wait, let me do what I did with Harry. Let me Google you because I didn't know what the royal family was. I don't even know who you are. Let me Google you real quick. Oh, Kardashians?
Listen,
wow, I never knew this.
No, Meghan doesn't like that Emma's doing a lot of talking. And
Yeah.
Meghan is getting really pissed off at this. Like you can tell. Did you?
Did you?
How passive is that?
For me, there was such a sense of desperation to just get something done that the first person that was like, hey, we believe in you. I was like, great, me too, let's go. And there were parts of it that were good and parts of it that, let's say I had to learn from a little bit. But when you look at this partnership, because it is pretty untraditional in that way, right? You're launching a brand with your content partner. So I wonder where does the brand live? How are you working together? Who does what? Is that all pre-figured out, or are you just working it out as you go along?
Well, I think what's different than what you're saying is your initial experience is that we've been in partnership with Netflix for 5 years already. My husband and I. So there's
She
You liar.
Stephanie, relax. Now I'm going to say it.
Well, you said
She is
Okay, I'll stop
throwing
talking.
She is throwing Netflix under the bus right now because she's saying that I've been in partnership with Netflix for 5 years and this is the best they can do with me. She's making them look like idiots.
familiarity and there's comfort. And while that was just on the content side, not on the commerce side, these are relationships and friendships now. So though I'm working more so with the other building of Netflix, it's still the same group of people. It's still the same points of contact that I can reach out to. I love having a friendship and a nice rapport with Bella. Bella Bajaria has been such a champion of both the series and of this brand. And, it was only from me sending her fruit baskets and jams and whatnot that she said, this is a show.
This is good
You
stuff.
have to do a show.
It's a show because you sent out their fruit baskets and you look like a freaking fruity nut. That's exactly why it happened. You are, look at how her neck extends
You
too.
gotta go. You're getting more upset than me.
So I think that changes it because it's not as though you're jumping in with people that you don't know, which a lot of founders, I think, to your point, if they are looking for partnership for capital, whether it's private equity, VC, or a partner in this way that I have, that's a very big relationship to take on.
It really is.
But if you have rapport running up to it, it does adjust it a little bit because you have a shorthand.
Yeah. And where are the lines? Like, what are you doing versus what are they doing? Because I imagine, especially when it's something that's so close to your heart and something that you clearly take a lot of pride in, how are you able to make sure that the product is what you want it to be, the brand is what you want it to be? Because there's a lot of compromise when it comes to partnerships. And I say this to founders all the time, right? When you give something, you have to imagine that something's coming back. And so what does that partnership actually look like right now?
Well, I think at the end of the day, what I appreciate is in the contract, they understand that this is my vision.
Mm-hmm.
It's my vision. And also the success of the brand, I believe, is
That's in the contract on Netflix behalf. They're like, look, we want you to tell everyone that this is your vision.
Yep.
This is your baby.
This has nothing to do with us.
This is your idea. You just happen to have a TV show contract with us in case you get divorced. Just know that's all we care about.
We
at
just
this
want to
point.
keep you happy right now and have your vision out there. But don't tell anybody. Don't give us creative control right now.
And don't tell anyone we have anything to do with
The
it.
divorce doc, yes, we
Yes.
will have creative control over
Yes.
that.
rooted in the fact that you can feel when I am involved in something. And so because I have been in this
That she's right about
She's
that.
right.
It's the first time she's told the truth.
state of ideation of what I wanted to have as an offering for so long, the fact that they trust my final judgment is great on what I want to put out there. But equally, one of the things I've said from the onset,
Meghan, they're trying to keep you happy and quiet right now. Are you dumb?
Yeah.
Are you this dumb?
I'm not going to believe for a second that the same people that brought us Squid Game and
No.
all these amazing, I'm sorry, they're not that stupid. I'm sorry.
I love being part of the creative process. It's important to me. It's also where I find a lot of joy. So the analogy I say is don't bake the cake without me. Meaning, if I'm in the kitchen, I want to be part of making the batter. What's the flavor profile? And there's an entire team that can help put that cake in the oven, but I want to check it before it goes in the oven. And I want to be involved in frosting it and presenting it and the language.
Meghan, if you give the people shitty ingredients and they bake the cake, even if you look at the batter and you see it go in the oven, it's still shitty ingredients, okay?
It's you can't eat it.
Yeah,
It's-
you still can't.
it's
eat
not
the cake.
edible.
You can watch it all you want. It's just you gave them crappy things to start with.
remember in With Love with Meghan, she stuck something in the oven, but then there was nothing in the oven, and she looked at it and there was nothing in it.
Remember the raw chicken in the refrigerator?
Yeah, exactly.
I love the details of things. And I think that's where a lot of the magic comes in. So in partnership,
Magic.
while
Do you
we are every
believe
day in the
that?
weeds of minutia from packaging and unboxing to the language on a newsletter, which yes, I'm one of the people who's looking at all of that and making sure that it feels reflective of my vision for the brand. It's just a constant dance. And I think in any business, you're dancing
All the time.
all the time.
Dancing.
Oh, you could choreograph it as well as you want, but at a certain point, you're going to have to freestyle a little bit and improv and trust that your partner knows, like, okay, we're moving this way, and you're
Yeah.
just doing that dance together.
And what about the less sexy side, the less creative part of it? When you're thinking about
My P&L.
logistics, when you're thinking about the finances, when you're thinking about the back end
all of
infrastructure, like, is that something that you are interested in getting involved in? Or are you like, this is for my partner and I can trust them on that?
I'm very involved in that part. It matters because I think the misconception.
So she's involved. She's involved with. She is taking credit for everything.
Oh
Good-
yeah.
good for her.
100% of the blame for this train wreck is going to be on Meghan Markle. She wants
Yeah.
everyone to know that.
Now, we have said this a million times and we'll say it again. This is the best Meghan can do.
Is when you have a very large machine and a very powerful and influential machine like a partner as with Netflix, and you have
We should take a shot
keeps
every time she
saying-
says Netflix.
Partner with Netflix. I mean, she keeps reiterating it.
Right now, Netflix is flipping out. Like, they're flipping out.
There's pages flying everywhere.
Oh, God.
People are jumping out of the window.
Oh, yeah. They're like,
me and the profile and all of the attention that brings as well. You have the two of us together. Yes, it's an incredible partnership with a lot of, look, I'm proud of them. They've got a lot of clout behind them.
Yes.
oh, you're
Whoa.
proud of Netflix.
Oh, you're proud of the executives that actually went to college and actually is doing like work?
You went to you're well, you don't have to go to
No, but you
graduate
know what I'm
school to
ta-
be creative and do all that.
You know what I mean.
You're proud of Netflix.
You're proud of them.
That's so sweet of her to say that. Oh my God, she's treating them like an equal partner.
And
Right
she's
now.
petting them like a dog.
Oh my God,
Good boy, good boy, good boy.
Oh my God, aren't they great?
They're very talented.
And at the same time, we're still a startup.
Yeah. You're still a startup.
We're a startup.
Doesn't matter.
It does
That
not
mentality
matter.
is so important, I think. Like
Still a
to
startup.
have that there.
We've been a startup for 2 years.
I mean, Bella's
We
one
put
of my
out-
best friends.
We put those lemon baskets out, and we're still a startup.
Yeah,
It's
a year
still
and 3
happening.
months ago, we're
Yeah,
still a startup.
We're still a really small. Could you imagine Dad after a year,
in 3 months.
after he put up Picture Perfect back in the 80s, and him going,
We're
telling his customers when we're out of things, we're
still a startup.
There and to know it doesn't matter. Like every single customer, every interaction really counts. And it's often that unsexy stuff that is the stuff that really impacts the customer as well. It's like, how quickly are they getting their delivery? How much can they
Yes.
rely on your site? Like, is what they order what they get in the package?
Yes.
So it matters.
It all matters. And also just the customer service experience. That is your one-on-one interaction with the people that are supporting your brand. I want you to feel
Wait, then why were you out of stock for how many months? Guys, help me out. How many months has this brand been out of stock?
Yeah, in the chat, guys, go for it.
What
Okay.
the hell?
the way you would feel if in the same spirit of hospitality, if you were a guest in my home.
Mhm.
I see you. I want to make sure your needs are met. We're going to make sure you're comfortable. If something wasn't exactly as
Okay, wait.
Bath
Bath salts, and peanut butter pretzels do not make people comfortable. It makes them feel awkward and weird.
you imagined it, let's talk about it. How can we make you comfortable? All of that is part of the spirit of the brand. And I think, it might not seem as sexy, but it's fundamentally important.
So tell me,
Don't you think people in your house, that should be the sexy experience? That shouldn't be the awkward experience. That should be the sexy experience. What is she talking about? It's all word salad.
more about the actual brand and your aspiration.
Okay, I got to give it to Emma. Can I give it to Emma for a second?
We're not
Emma-
done yet, dude.
But Emma, listen, I'm sure Emma will give her bubblegum questions, but Emma is pressing on the business questions.
Yeah.
And Meghan is not like the mental gymnastics going on in her head right now.
she's very good at reading. We've been saying Megan's very good at memorizing scripts, but she's a little
off right now because
this also isn't live.
but
though.
Emma keeps pressing her. She's
Okay.
like, yeah, but
Because this is a notoriously difficult category. And I love that you're like,
Consumables, you mean?
I mean, it's really hard.
Ooh.
I always thought that
actually it's not that hard, according to Meghan, because she sold out in 45 minutes.
Ooh.
when I started a business, I grew up with family that had flower stores. And
Oh,
I
I
remember
didn't know
the
that.
inventory would always die. Like
Oh,
it
I
was
didn't know
literally like, this is really a tricky business because you've got this window and then the inventory is literally dying. So your inventory.
Thankfully, we're not in that situation.
Thank goodness.
Products are shelf
You have a
stable for
little bit
several
more
years.
time.
Yes.
But it is a really tricky category, right? And even when you think about the distribution, once it gets outside of D2C, it's
Yes.
it's a big, complicated machine with big players in there. So
Yes.
how do you think about
Look at her. She's terrified
Oh yeah.
during these questions.
Yeah.
She's freaked.
Because she definitely did get these questions before, but Emma, like any podcast host, is going a bit off topic.
Yeah, well, Emma's keeps asking them. She probably thought they were only going to ask
One time, yeah.
but Emma keeps going.
It's like Harry's panels where it's like, oh, it's 45 minutes. I got to get off stage.
yeah, I'm off stage now.
the vision of what you're trying to create and also the fact that you've decided to take a chunk out of something that is really, notoriously complex?
Well, I think I go back to the authenticity, right? It's
Oh, here we go.
Man,
Damn it.
Sucks.
Okay, just
God.
play it.
Well,
You gotta-
don't talk over it next
I'm
time. 'cause we
not.
missed that
I'm
happy
not. I'm
comment.
not.
what I love and it's what I want to share. So what I was cooking in my home to figure out recipe testing to scale that to a level where you can share it more broadly. And of course, compliance is different globally when we get into that market, which we will.
You're going global. You
How
are.
can we not?
I mean, how can you not?
Yeah, but it's just,
Guys, she's going global.
I was
She's-
going to do a spit take in your face when she said it. But then
Guys,
I said no.
Guys, we're going global with this
I
jam.
was going to go,
Guys, there is no jam in other countries, okay? We need to bring jam into the third
She's acting
world.
like she's a successful $1 million
going global.
business for 5 years. Her podcast flopped twice. She fails at everything.
Yeah,
Look
what
at
are
her-
people saying to her?
You guys were going global. It's happening.
it's the spirit of
with Pam.
sharing. I don't want to just share it here. I want to
Well,
share
and it's
it.
better for the P&L.
Global.
I'm picturing like countries like the Netherlands.
Oh yeah.
Or like Amsterdam, and then like because they're just so known for their
Jam,
preserves
yeah.
and the UK,
Yeah.
and just Canada, who just they just love that stuff, you know. And I'm just imagining them thinking like, what the hell is Meghan? What is this?
Why would we open this jam?
Why would we care about this?
There is that, Meghan.
Yes, that's true. And in the spirit of sharing. But I think, look, at the end of the day,
Whoa, that mask slipped.
Whoa.
Did you see how she went from hysterical laughter? Then but wait a second, hold on. Now I'm being serious because you interrupted me for the 20th time, Emma. Wow, let's play that.
if I had gone into beauty, for example, and I have a lot of...
Was that a consideration at any point for you?
It was definitely something that people were asking me to get involved.
Oh, bullshit. Sorry, mom. Bullshit. It's definitely something people ask me to do.
Who is asking you to do beauty?
Who are the voices in your head?
Meghan, listen, Meghan, let's be real, okay? You do not do anything special that any other woman in LA has done to their face and hair. I'm sorry, but what would we want out of that? Like with Goop, yeah, Gwyneth Paltrow does this natural California tan. There is nothing special about her makeup,
No.
her hair,
No.
nothing. She's on Ozempic, allegedly. Who's asking you that?
You're doing exactly what California women do.
If that were the case, Meghan, then you would have brand deals with makeup, with hair, and with designers.
And perfume deals.
You would have deals.
Yeah. I mean, in these past
Did you
years,
have any inclination? Were you like, this could be fun?
I think it can be fun.
Yeah.
And I think there'll be a time for that. I think there'll certainly be a time for fashion. You and I can talk about that later. But I think, ultimately...
Did you guys hear that? She said, Emma, we could talk about that later.
Oh, she would love.
She's gonna start her own Good American line. It's mom jeans.
No, Emma right now is sizing her up. Emma will never go into business with her because you can say whatever you want about Emma.
Never say never.
You can say whatever you want about Emma, but Emma has a nose for these things, and she knows when to stop. And like she did with the Kardashians, she's like, guys, we can't do the Kardashians anymore. Their stock is down.
The only fashion that Emma will ever partner up with her is like an iron. That's it.
Yeah.
She'll be like, let's it's like, Sonia Morgan with the toaster oven. Like
have
Meghan,
no idea what you're talking
that's
about.
Real Housewives, but she could do like the iron.
Yeah.
Like clothes iron.
Yeah. Emma, that's the
That'd
thing.
be a genius idea.
Emma's not an idiot.
Meghan Markle's iron.
She doesn't see any dollar signs with Meghan.
I wanted to do what felt authentic, but I also recognized
Oh, crap.
Authentic. God. Take a shot, everybody.
that, yes, there are variables that you don't have to think about when you're doing composition of makeup, right? You can buy all of your products, you know your supply chain, and you know that every single time you can count on those sort of scientific ingredients to yield the same product. One of your partners is not Mother Nature. If it's a bad season for berries, that's going to affect your product, but you're still going to wait until it all falls into place differently.
Okay, so can you explain to us what your brand is? Because you're telling us that you can't do things because of
bringing up the jam.
Seasonal issues. So what the hell is your brand? You haven't told us yet. We're still really confused.
We're on pins and needles and vodka.
So there are more factors involved, but I do think at its core, it's still rooted in something that feels very true to me. And that's the springboard for everything else. Starts in the garden, starts with this beautiful, humble pot of jam that I don't care who you are, you're a little bit charmed by jam.
It's not jam.
No. We're not charmed by jam.
No, we're amazed that
But then what
you
does that do? That introduces you to what are the extensions of that I want you to start or end your day with, that I want you to treat yourself with or gift to friends. And then you say, well, now you're in my home. So what are the other hospitality and host?
I don't want my skin burning off because of your bath salts, Meghan. That's not hospitality. That is almost murder.
This is what I'm confused about. She's describing things like Bloom Ranch and Flamingo Estate, Made in Oregon, all three things that you and we give as gifts when we say thank you gifts. She's trying, who would send, she doesn't even have anything to send.
No.
I don't know what she's talking
Unless
about.
people want to be on the toilet for 4 days, don't eat her
If
stuff.
I want to send something or if I want to do something, I'm going to send it from Bloom Ranch.
Just pieces I want you to be able to share. And we move from the kitchen into a much broader space.
Oh, I love you. Have big ambitions for As Ever.
I do.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah.
She has big ambitions, but she has no idea what they are.
I mean, because I think there's so few people that can actually create truly global brands. And so why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you take that opportunity? I mean, I certainly would.
Yeah, I think it's also playful to be able to have fun in the exploration of what it could be. You can stay small.
Well, the world's yours.
Could you imagine women watching this right now with children, single mothers that are trying to actually do startups and going, you can make it playful. You don't have to be serious at first.
Yeah.
You don't have to go to your investors and try to sell it to them. You can be playful.
I'd like to share a text from my boyfriend right now.
Oh, everybody
who's
drink.
watching this. And I got to say, I am shocked he's so invested in this because he does not care about this stuff. He says, Meghan is drinking other people's bathwater and thinks it's her champagne. Good point. Wow.
Wow, boyfriend. Good point.
Amazing.
Oyster right now. I mean, you started
That's very
with a
kind.
few products, but you literally could do anything that you want to do. I've been talking to my friends
She's doing an ad. That's an ad.
Of course she's doing an ad. She knows this is going to get views.
Yeah.
Okay, go.
it, as we talked about, but equally, I enjoy being in a position of having a strong team around me, being able to help guide that team as a whole. And I've also, you know, in the adventures of my life, I have certainly navigated through things that can in some ways feel bigger.
Yeah.
So this for me is just another chapter that I think is full of, you know, I'm a very curious person, new learns. I love learning something new all the time. I don't feel imposter syndrome. I feel like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be right now.
Oh, I'm really happy you said that. I mean, I do think I speak to so many founders, and more often than not, they feel some sense of imposter syndrome. And I have so many women that will say to me, didn't you feel or don't you feel imposter syndrome? And my answer is always no. I'm like, if not you, then who? Like, why would you feel that way, right? I feel like to some extent, we're all making up as we go along. And even when you get a lot of experience and you've done, you know, multiple startups like I have, nothing is the same because you're never doing it in the same time, in the same culture, with the same people.
Yes. And even if you're making it up as you go along, as you say, which I think true, most people are doing that. Imposter syndrome is when you're posturing as though you know everything.
Okay, guys, we're getting to the point of the podcast where Meghan is going to start talking about how she really is through third person. Let's go. Let's watch.
She's going to explain imposter syndrome to us.
You need to posture as though you know everything. It is perfectly okay for me as the founder and the owner of this company to say, sorry, what does that mean?
Yes.
Can you help me understand that? And actually, I think it's a really great posture to take, or a truth rather, to take as a leader, to show that, yes, I know what I know, but I'm also so excited to have people on this team that know more about certain avenues than I do, because we're learning from each other. That's
so
not
long as you
imposter
find
syndrome.
the people, right?
You
It's
find
like
great
you just got to
people.
find great people and get out of their way. And I really
That's
believe
not
in
what
that because I think
Wait, I'm confused.
That's not what imposter syndrome is.
I'm confused though. Who is on her team? And why hasn't she fired them by now? Because they're not giving her very good advice.
that as a founder, knowing what you don't know is so important. Like you've
And
got to
being
know what
honest
you're great
about
at.
it.
Yes.
Oh, come on. You got to take a shot for wait.
I'm not taking a
That's
shot
an
for that.
honorary
I'm
shot
not
for
doing
her
that.
saying honest.
I'm not
Isn't
saying that.
honest and authentic the same thing?
No,
You
not
have to
doing
say
it. I don't
no,
want to
that's
get.
okay.
I we still got time on this. I don't want to get too drunk.
About it. It's okay to not know everything.
Yeah.
That's part of the beauty of it. But I can see that in the culture that you've created around here. You have an incredible team. You take care of your team. That is all reflected in your success because it
Is bullying your team count? Does that count?
takes a village. It really does.
It takes a village every damn day.
Every day. All day, every day.
single day. And what does your team look like these days? Because you do so many things and you've got a lot happening. Do you work with the same team and then things get farmed out? Or is it very, very separate, each and every little thing you do between, you know, the show and, you know, your philanthropic efforts and then the brand now?
Yes. Well, I have a small and mighty team for my office.
Love.
And then I think obviously our foundation is independent of that, but those are the same executive directors we've had for a very long time who run it beautifully.
Wait,
And then you look at with Netflix, they have an entire team that they've devoted to.
oh, come on. on. Come on.
Stop bringing Netflix into
Please,
this.
please leave them
Stop.
out of it.
Leave these poor guys out of it.
I'm gonna have their back on this
She
one.
thinks-
She's trying to say that Netflix has a team that is teammate. No, that's not. No, they don't punch in every morning at 9 a.m. for Meghan Markle. Those people are not feeding their families, banking on you, Meghan.
Yeah,
that is BS.
If that were true, there would have been a continuity director on the set of With Love Meghan, but
Yeah.
that didn't happen. And then she goes, I have a small team. Who's your team?
They keep
Who is the
rotating.
frickin'
They keep
team?
rotating, and we find out about it because you have to put it on paper after Archwell gets rid of people.
Oh,
You
man.
liar.
This project specifically being as ever, separate team for With Love Meghan. That's a crew of about 80
That's a
people.
lot.
It's a lot of
A lot
people.
of
It's a lot.
separateness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was shocked. I'm shocked.
Not mansplaining. Big and Megan is Meg-splaining.
Yeah, thank
totally.
you.
Of people.
That's a lot of
So there's a
people.
lot of different teams, and at the same time, my core team that sits around me for all of the projects.
Wait. Now we're at 5. We're at 5 teams, guys. Guys, Emma asked a very simple question.
Yes.
What does your team consist of? What is the inner workings of your team? How do they have chemistry? How do they flow? How do they write? How do they, she had one question, and now we're at 5 teams, guys.
This is, very, very strong, savvy women.
Mhm.
Now
So talk
it's
to me a
women.
little bit about the launch, because I thought it was very, very well executed, but you basically sold out
gosh.
of everything in about 45 minutes. Listen, I can't get you on that one because I don't know a business that I've had where, a couple of hours in, every single thing has been gone.
Ooh,
Emma, you're lying.
Emma, I love. No, Emma, that's good.
No,
Emma,
she's
that's
lying.
good.
She's lying.
No, Emma said though, she goes, I've never been a part of anything like
They
that.
made
She's
denim history.
she's calling her out, dude. She's calling her
No,
out.
She is. That is a call
What-
out. No, you're right. I didn't think of it like that.
Yeah, she's calling her out, and she's going, well, Emma is saying basically, I'm like at the top of my game, and you're just down here, and you're telling me that you sold out in 45 minutes. I've never done that. How'd you do that, Meghan? Well, here's her crazy answer. Good.
Everything.
But it comes with a lot, right? That comes with
Yes.
this, of course, you end up kind of fueling that idea of scarcity in your business, which is a great thing. It's never terrible to disappoint customers, but there's the flip side of it. And I remember when I started Good American, I buy, I don't know, the third
Guys, Khloe Kardashian is the face of Good American.
hour, I was starting to pick up the phone and email customers. What did you do and how did you feel when everything was gone?
Well,
Or I should ask you, was it planned? I mean, did you plan to actually?
no,
Oh,
no.
okay.
It was a beautiful surprise. I had a feeling there would be a lot of interest.
Interest, not buying.
Yeah.
Interest, not buying.
And we planned for that. We didn't plan for everything selling out in under an hour. And so watching those metrics happen in real time,
No.
I set my
Mention the metrics. I guarantee she will not mention the units and the metrics.
Okay,
Let's
go.
see if I'm right.
alarm for the exact moment we were going to go live, and watching it, getting texts from my friend saying, it's already sold out.
Oh, you
And then
liar.
It was amazing. And also, to your point, because I'm business minded, I'm immediately going, okay, well, this is going to be a big pivot. Now what? Because I knew that I had a decision to make, which came down to what is our timeline to be able to restock these products that we had?
You only had 10 in stock. That's my theory.
Allegedly.
I mean, no offense, but it's like, Emma knows what's
Yeah,
going on.
she-
This is great.
Well, we can restock what we had at those same quantities, but then I'll have another sellout.
Mhm.
And I don't want that for people. I think scarcity is great if it happens organically at the onset. But at a certain point, even being consumer minded, I would be fatigued if that kept happening and I
Yes,
was going to a
yes.
website. So I said, okay, let's take this opportunity to grow, to have exponentially more SKUs as well as more inventory. And that's what we've been doing. We went right back to making sure we could scale up to that level.
Yes.
Okay, so she's going from 10 now to 20 jars of jam.
No.
And
what she's
have the
saying-
quality.
Oh, it's
No.
just, I just want to play
I know,
it.
but then I want to say something.
Okay, afterwards.
What she's saying right now is we have to, she's done, according to Megan, the hard part is done, correct? The hard part is done. She did the labels, she did
Marketing.
she found the manufacturer to do the jam and the shortbread and whatever the hell she did, the honey. She's done all that. The hard part's over.
Oh, that's, yeah.
But she's saying she has to do it all? What is she talking about? You should already have the distribution and already have, but she picked that snowbird, or what was that? Snow commerce?
Meet the quantity, which was very key. And then if we have that opportunity of more time, the luxury of that is, well, the products that have been in development that were going to be punted to this quarter, should we pull this in to this next launch?
All right, there's
Because
decisions
that would
to
be
be
great.
made. Yes.
There's decisions to be made. And like,
Yes.
what can our offering be at this point that is larger than what sold out in that first run? So as a seasonal drop, I think that was really important to say, let's get it back, but let's get it back in a much bigger way, which is what we've been
And
working
those are
towards.
really important decisions because you have to decide, and I'm guessing that you're learning all the time about reputation management, your
Yes.
customers, supply chain. Like, how are you thinking about those things? Because they are all such big decisions in the beginning for any founder. Like you're the one that needs to decide how you're showing up for customers every day.
It comes with a lot of pressure because when that call comes down to you, when I have to make that call, you don't know if it's going to be the right call. You just have to trust your gut. And that's ultimately what it goes back to. I say, if I was the person that waited so long to get that product, do I want to a second go around not be able to get the product? Or do I want to be able to buy it and share it with all my friends? So I'm constantly putting myself in the mindset of someone who's supported me for a long time and want to be able to get it, or the 15-year-old girl who's saved up her money to be able to buy a couple of the offerings that we have.
Okay.
Who does she think her demographic is?
I don't know.
How dare you?
I mean, it's insane. She's totally off the rails right now.
But it does come with pressure, and all you can do is make the best decision with the information that you have, and that's what I've been doing. And to trust your gut. I think that's so key.
Please keep trusting your gut, Meghan.
Please.
Just keep going with that gut.
It is key.
Yeah.
It is key. And it's hard to do, especially in the beginning when you don't have much information to go on. I think the number one thing that you have to do is, again, like you said, put yourself in the position of your customers and just listen to your intuition.
Yes.
It will never serve you wrong. So at least not in my experience.
Yes. Well, and also trying to make sure you have all the metrics and all the learns that you can. But when everything sells out in 45 minutes, you don't necessarily get the same
You have
learns. You're like, okay.
It's 10. It was 10 jars of jam.
She's not making sense though, because she already has the assembly.
Okay,
she
yeah,
already
we got-
knows how to put.
Yeah.
So now is
Okay, minute.
Oh,
That-
sorry.
You're frustrating
I didn't mean
me.
to.
I know.
I thought I was hitting that.
She's literally already put it into production. She's got the labels. She figured out what people like. She's not making sense. She's saying that once anybody who does a business sells out of something, they have to like stock up and it takes months. That's not making sense.
Number 5, this was tracking. Yeah, it tells you nothing. It's hard to learn from your business when it's like that. But really good problems to have, I
Good
think.
problems to have, champagne problems, as they call them.
Absolutely,
and,
they are.
You know, the world is learning with me in real time. We're learning together.
You're learning together skills that will not help other people start up a business. That's what we're learning.
Who's watching you do that?
There are so many comparisons right now, right? It's like people are saying you're the next Martha Stewart, you're the next Gwyneth Paltrow. So 2 questions. How do you feel about that? But also, what's going to set this brand apart? Because you're in a very, very different time right now. It's a different culture. I think consumers are super, super wise. So, you know, I want to ask you those 2 things. How do you feel about it?
I think that's very flattering. Those are incredibly.
Thank you, Momo. She said exactly what I was saying. So our businesses are successful. You don't pause and cancel it. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Thank you, Momo.
Successful businesswomen. So I don't take that lightly. That means a lot if there's any comparison made in that regard. And I also think it was really important to me. I remember where I come from, right? So I knew that I wanted things to be reflected in the same way that I put an outfit together for years, high-low. I knew I wanted this brand to be masstige, and to come out of the gate with something luxury didn't make sense to me. So the price point itself, with nearly everything being under $20, was key. I think that's a differentiator. Never sacrificing on.
How much was the jam, guys? Again? And how much? $20? She charged like what? $14 plus shipping for shortbread mix. All it is like flour, sugar, and what I don't know what the hell shortbread, but it's easy to make at home. And
it was $14, you're saying?
$14 for jam.
Wow.
That's nuts. What is she? I made it. I made it accessible for everybody to buy.
Made
No,
it affordable.
What the hell are you talking about?
The metric system.
I would never spend $14
Yeah.
on honey.
Quality,
Unless it's Manuka honey.
Manuka.
being engaging in a customer service manner, I think is really important. But also, you know, the show reflects the spirit of what I ultimately want to put out in the
So is
world.
it the show or the brand? Go.
Yes. Good question. Good.
Geez.
And though they're not the same thing, and by design, look, the show and the brand are not named the same thing.
Yeah. Smart.
We know that.
We get
know.
it. It's
We
very
know.
confusing.
Yes, you have managed
That's what
to
we just
confuse.
meant.
We get it.
By the way.
No, they're just not. They complement each other. They can talk in
they
the same
do.
conversation, but they are not the same. And so knowing that I have a vehicle to be able to share the things that I love to do, and then a place where you can go and buy them if you don't want to necessarily make them on your own, feels like a
don't give
very
the
smart way.
ingredients.
Okay,
You
if
don't
Megan-
give the ingredients.
Megan, let's be real. On As Ever or whatever, what's the show
With
called?
Love.
With Love, Megan, you didn't tell anybody how to make anything.
Where are the
did
ingredients?
she make a jam? Was there a jam episode?
She's-
I don't even think there was a jam episode.
She's saying that you could watch the show to get the recipes, or you could just buy it online. It's that simple.
I
Okay.
think on the Netflix. No, actually, to her credit, I think she
Oh, her
did
credit.
put some of the recipes on there.
okay, well,
But I don't remember it being like she showed us how to make anything.
yeah, like a tutorial.
Like Martha Stewart
Yeah,
or
sure.
Nara Smith. Like
Yeah.
Nara Smith is amazing.
Putting pretzels into a bag is not a recipe.
Yeah.
To do the full and complete storytelling of what I'm after. So, you know, I feel flattered by the
She's after the Princess Catherine's shadow. That's what she's after.
comparisons, and I feel excited that I'm sharing things that are important to me and how I would do things in my own home, and that I hope people translate that to theirs as well.
Poisoning Harry is not something we want to see.
No doubt. Given that the
I like the no
ambition-
doubt.
No,
I love it. It's great.
I feel it. I mean, I really do.
Yeah.
I watched the show. I feel like
Did
it's
you make
very
anything?
clear. I did not make anything. I'm not going to.
Ooh, Emma.
Didn't we tell you guys
Ooh,
on
Emma.
We told you guys on yesterday's show because we showed Megan looking like kind of pissed that she couldn't get a word in edgewise. And I remember I said, I go, good luck with Emma.
Yeah.
Because we've known Emma for years and this girl does not back down unless it's the
It's a
Kardashian.
Kardashian.
But other than
Yeah, I was
that,
gonna say, what are you?
no, no, no.
Let's
Unless
not
it's
backpedal. She's still not
I've
good.
seen her in other things and she is very
She's still a
opinionated.
bully.
Well, no, she's a bully. Yes, now,
Okay.
but yeah, she does not back down.
We could just
You
buy
cook?
a present.
I am such a cook, like such a cook. But I cook, you know, it's like I don't have a lot of time to cook, but
Yes, I
I take
understand that.
time off. Like Thanksgiving, the 3 days running up to Thanksgiving, I cook for 3 days
Do you
straight.
do Thanksgiving now that you've been here?
Oh,
God,
now
that's
that you've
so
been here, Thanksgiving. Now that you're here, oh,
Isn't that precious?
you're so cute. Let me pet your head, dog. Let me pet your head, you little dog.
You know what? This shows more than anything because she's not treating her the same way she treated Jamie.
Oh yeah,
Meghan Markle, I'm going to say this without saying allegedly, Meghan Markle hates black women.
yeah. She's just like treating her like a dog.
If this isn't proof, then I don't know what is. But that
Oh.
woman, she hates black women.
what is wrong with her? Oh.
Actually, it might be. It's for me. It's like Christmas practice.
But it's also like a Sunday roast in the UK.
exactly.
Shut
Up
up.
about that.
You're
You're
in
not you don't know anything about the UK.
Yeah,
How
stop.
dare you?
Yeah, and you know what? Emma can do whatever she wants. Her 4 kids are American. She can do whatever she
Yeah,
wants.
stop trying to put people in boxes.
She's in her own country.
Okay.
Okay. My mom wasn't born here, but she still celebrates the holidays.
So I'm an absolute expert of it, but I
Yes.
do like, you know, like an English American mashup. So it's like, you know, I do
Yorkshire
all
pudding.
of the, I do like a Yorkshire pudding and I do a roast
Well,
potato, but of course
did
I
you
do, you know,
Google
like
that?
sweet
Did
potato.
She Google it?
She
Googled
Googled
Yorkshire pudding. Yeah, because no one knows what that is.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Pie and I
Oh,
add
I
in,
love
I do
it.
like the greens and, you know, a ham
did
and
you
those
make
types of things.
Mhm.
But I don't get to cook nearly as much as I want. But
I know.
I look at
understand
you and I feel like it feels like you're getting so much joy out of this. But it's an interesting thing when it's something that you love so much, but there's also huge ambition around it. And I wonder, when you think about the way you set up this partnership, is that structure going to work for you as you go forward? Do you think there's a time you're going to have to go out and raise capital?
Oh,
Potentially. It depends on what we want the growth trajectory to look like. But I think
Oh,
there's the nose.
man.
Look, she touched your nose. Let's go.
Do you know what? I'm a fan of Emma. I just said it. Go Emma.
Well, she's also a bully.
no, but you know
Nancy,
what?
stop
She's
saying-
she's my kind of bully,
Well,
Stephanie.
no,
and I
don't
have every
say
right to
that.
say she is. She's my kind of bully.
No, she's a bully.
I
That's
don't
mean.
care. You know what, Emma? I like you.
Jeez.
My sister can call you a bully. You're my kind of bully. And as that woman just said, you're my kind of mean girl. I am down with Emma.
Yeah, keep going.
you know, and all the contracts and logistics surrounding it have really set up what the future can look like together. And being mindful of the movements of that. There are a lot of surprises still with the series that we'll be able to share later this year. Obviously, season 2 coming. But I think what's really...
said it 5 times. She has said season 2 5 times. Emma asked her a very simple question here, right, guys?
What is your, yeah.
What-
Capital.
Yeah. What is your what does that look like?
like.
And now she's talking about season 2 again. Let's watch.
exciting about it is it's the evolution of the partnership that we've had with Netflix for so many years.
It's the same shit. Sorry, mom. Sorry, mom. Sorry.
To now say we're doubling down in the growth of me as an entrepreneur and their support in that chapter. So it's huge.
They own you. Netflix owns you.
Okay.
They own everything that you're doing. They probably have cameras set up in your house.
Dude,
they're watching every single
How did
move.
she answer the capital question?
She didn't.
great. But yes, I mean, as we continue to grow, you know, you might be looking to expand certainly globally. And if there's a raise that's involved in that, then I think we'll be in a really good position to do that.
Yeah, no doubt you will be.
You sold out of 10 jars of jam, and you think that you can go global?
Well, she's already mentioned she just keeps repeating.
But I'm
things.
just saying, that
I'm
10
telling you,
jars
she didn't think Emma was going to ask these questions over and over again in different ways.
in different ways.
She had things memorized, and
Yeah.
that was it.
Yeah. And she doesn't want Emma then going to the press saying, well, she told me I had to stop at this point.
Yeah.
Absolutely no doubt in that.
Thank you.
When you think about the failure rate for first-time entrepreneurs, does that ever concern you? Have you even let your mind go there?
I do not think about failing.
I'm
I
glad
don't
she
think about
doesn't.
failing.
I'm glad she doesn't.
She's so delusional in her own mind, and she's such a legend in her own mind that she doesn't even think about failing.
I want what Meghan Markle's on.
Oh man, I want a double hit of that.
Yeah.
No.
You're not scared of failing.
Is anything actually a failure ultimately? Because you're going to learn from
Yes.
Yes,
100%.
everything that you have ever done is a failure.
100%. But after marrying Harry, you have
No, she
failed.
doesn't.
Well, you know what? I got to give
She's
her
not
credit.
an actress, dude.
No,
Just
no, no.
like-
I'm
I
talking
mean-
about the Instagram and the TIG.
Yeah,
She was
no,
trying.
it, no matter what happens. But no, I feel confident in what I've been.
Stephanie, we can disagree on certain things, okay? You guys, it's that wonderful time
Nancy,
of the month.
stop.
we-
Okay, Nancy, stop.
We can disagree.
We are going to disagree on that one. She's a failure in my head.
Dreaming up for so long. I feel confident in the partner that I have. And I feel really proud of the team that I have. So that's not an option.
It's not an option. I love that
No.
you say that's not an option because there's just such an intense narrative around everything that you do. I can't imagine not being a bit scared. Like I'm always scared when I start something, but nobody's even watching me. Like I get to fail in a corner on my own
With
and
your
go,
glass of wine.
Okay, like thank God nobody was watching that. But it's very different for you. And so I'm surprised that you say that.
I'm not saying that there aren't moments where I don't feel scared. Of course you do. But as I've continued to say to myself, and whatever I'm going through, my faith is greater than my fear. I believe in myself. I believe in the team around me. I believe in our potential for success.
There's 5
And-
teams.
Yeah.
There's 5 teams.
Yeah.
Is that the same metric that someone else is putting on it? No. For me,
She learned the word metric last night.
Yep.
Because she said
She's
it like
saying it.
25 times so far. Someone taught Meghan the word metric.
it would have been a huge success and not a failure if I was selling my homemade jams at farmers market. And I'd gotten a cottage license. I applied for that in the county of Santa Barbara, where you can literally go
like,
and
yes.
yes, I was like, great.
Sounds like you looked into that, Megan.
Yeah, interesting.
You can make the goods in your home and sell them. That would have been a success for me. So someone else's sense of what
She was gonna baby boom. You were right.
gonna
We
baby
did a
boom.
whole episode, and Stephanie predicted that Meghan was gonna pull a baby boom.
And sell like food at a farmer's
That
market.
Diane Keaton movie.
But then become a huge success and a billionaire over it
On Wall
and then
Street.
Netflix would be pissed. She has no clue that Netflix and all these people, even Emma, all these people watching right now are waiting for the divorce. That's
Yeah,
all.
that's all.
That's all people are. Yeah. So I guess you know what? When she gets the divorce, she's gonna go, I didn't fail.
Yeah, it wasn't a failure.
That looks like is not necessarily what mine is, and that will continue to grow. But no, I don't see.
Yeah. Usually
see-
narcissists, when they view from their own lens, they're not seeing what the rest of the world is seeing. Duh.
She failed at being a royal after 72 days.
She's failing at being a human.
Yeah.
The possibility of failure, not when you can learn from everything that you've done.
The way that you speak
Yeah, but you don't learn.
You don't learn. You keep reading
About
magazines.
both imposter syndrome and failure, because these are two things that, again,
Mm.
uniquely are in the kind of language of so many female founders, and they're real for so many people, and that's fine. But I do also want to demystify the idea that, like, we have to feel that we have to go around feeling really scared, and we have to believe that this is not a journey for us. And so I wonder what in your life and your history has got you to the point where you can feel like that.
Well, I think words matter. And I think certain words and terms become very topical and trendy, and they just become part of the vernacular.
Oh yeah, I believe that.
Like,
Right. And at a certain point you go, why do I keep reinforcing this idea? Because it's topical. Right. And I ultimately believe the more that you can change your thoughts, you're going to change the things around you.
So you're a big believer in mindset?
You have to be.
Yes.
I think as a female, as any founder, but as a female founder, you have to train your mind to literally be so focused on what your goal is, to be so, as I said in the podcast I was doing, laser focused on what your intention is. There isn't
Which
room
one?
for a tremendous amount of self-doubt with that.
Mm.
It will be there. But when it appears, you have to train yourself out of it.
You got to shut it down.
Yeah, and I don't think that it's helpful to indulge some of the language that is going to be self-limiting. I don't think that that helps anyone grow. And I don't.
you go by titles.
You're trying to censor people.
Yeah, but
You're trying to censor people.
She also goes by titles, and she styles her children in titles who are American.
think being fear-based, yes, being risk-averse,
Mhm.
very valuable. Being clear and realistic about the landscape that you're walking into, very helpful. Talking yourself out of it or talking yourself into negative self-talk is not valuable as a founder.
So how have you trained yourself to do that? Do you think that comes from your background as an actress?
Could be. I mean,
wonder.
yeah, you know, when I was an auditioning actress, and this is well before Suits. I have to
It's
think.
the only thing she's
At-
ever done.
What else
That's
have
the
you
only
done?
thing she's ever done.
Yeah.
Guys, when I was auditioning,
Before Suits.
before Suits,
that time, there were certainly not a lot of
When I was living with Trevor, my boyfriend, and he was paying all the bills and getting me the auditions because he had a foot in the door when it came to that stuff, that's what happened.
mixed race parts.
Really?
No.
Really?
No, there weren't a lot of, if I was going in for an audition, it was either, you have to remember, this was a very different time than it is now.
Mm.
It was girl next door. That was typically blonde-haired, blue-eyed, and a certain look.
oh, here we go.
But-
Okay, I don't want to
Here
hear
we
this.
go.
I don't
No,
wanna- don't say it's a different time.
I've auditioned for the girl next door. I had brown eyes and brown hair.
Yeah.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Also, we grew up, Megan, at the same time. A different world. The Cosby Show, Family Matters, Girlfriends. That was our Sex in the City equivalent of a sitcom. What
Yeah.
was the other one? Oh, the Being Single.
And where are you?
What is she
Where are
talking
you
about?
living? Where blonde-haired, blue-eyed girls are the girl next door? Like where did that happen?
Jasmine Guy and Halle
Talking
Berry
about the
were
look.
like the biggest
Yeah, we're
stars
just talking
of
about
the
the blonde
90s.
hair.
She
Yeah.
mentioned mixed race.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. You
we're
didn't hear
no,
it.
I said we're going for it
No,
right now.
did you hear her say it?
Yeah,
Okay.
no, she's definitely double downing on
She's
it.
not making sense. She just said we live in a different time. What? So you didn't grow up in the 90s?
Well, and people are saying she had Caucasian on her headshot.
yeah. I mean,
come
dude.
on, Megan, don't do this
Yeah.
to yourself. Stop embarrassing
Oh
yourself.
my God. You would get those parts on Days of Our Lives.
Girls
as,
next,
the
girl next door.
But because I'm half white, I would also be submitted for those roles. And then if it was a character that had any sort of ethnicity, there was always a bit of a, edge to those characters, but I'd be submitted for those roles. And I also, to a lot of people in casting, they thought I was Latina. So I share that because, and I've shared this before, it was
No, you haven't. No, you
a
haven't.
numbers game. If I'm only up for 10 parts, that could be 10 no's. But if I'm up for 30 parts, because I can fit into so many different rooms, that could be 30 no's. That is a lot to chip away at yourself.
That's called failure. Okay.
Meghan, that's called auditioning. Ask any actress in LA. That's normal. Okay, but Stephanie, you know that's normal. Being told
Totally.
no 30 times.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But I never saw it as a failure. Yeah.
Steam. That is really hard. And I think so much of that, like I went through my chapter of self-doubt as an auditioning actor and beyond that. And when you're so consumed with what everyone around you thinks of you, that can be a really hard way to live. So
It could be a really hard way to
You
live.
guys, she's had such a tough
Oh
life.
man, we almost have 5,000 people in the chat. I want to thank you guys because her voice is making me want to gag right now. And for you guys to be into this with us, we're in this together.
So I think as I've gotten older, certainly in my 40s and as a mom, you want to set the example for what your children are going to think about themselves. And that you can't have an imposter syndrome around.
No way.
You have to be so authentically the
Oh man, God darn it. We got a drink.
I want to hear it, Steph. Don't
I know.
role model and the example of confidence, self-forgiveness, kindness, fun,
Joy.
all of those things. Like, you can't fake that. You want to model that for them. So all of that really shifted in the past 6 years of becoming a mom for
getting
me.
easier.
Yeah, no, I really understand that. And I think that you're completely right. Are there practices that you have to tune out self-doubt? Like, are there things that you do in your day?
Oh, I wish I could say that I meditate every day. Right? No, I don't. And then when I say to someone, like, I don't have time to meditate, they say, well, you should meditate
No, you
twice
need
as
to.
long. And that's
is
really
true.
a cue that
That
you
is
need to do
true.
it twice. I would love to take my own advice and say meditate. I don't. I jump right into things. I will always phone a friend when I'm having moments. And I'm very fortunate.
This means that she's constantly on social media.
Yeah. What do you mean you don't have time?
To have a lot of female friends that are founders who have been through some version
Are
of
you calling on them?
Of
all the time?
course.
Yeah.
I'm so lucky in that regard. I go, oh my gosh, guess what just happened? They go, that's totally normal, Meg. Totally normal. Just power through it. So
They're
talking
not
to someone
calling you
who's
M anymore?
No.
Oh, they're calling her Meg.
Yeah.
Okay, we went from M to Meg.
Yeah.
Okay, good friends.
been through it and is on the other side of it with tremendous success is valuable to get a mentor. But no, I mean, I try to hike. I try to connect with outdoors. I definitely make time for my children. I make time for date night.
She's
that's
talking about
nice.
pap walks. She's talking about pap walks. She's saying, I find time for pap walks. I try to hike. I try to go out to dinner.
Okay.
And I try to spend time with my children.
Okay, what do you mean you try to make time for your kids? That should be the number one thing you do because you don't work that hard.
You don't work at all.
There's no proof that you work hard.
I don't do
You have to make time for balance. See a perspective. You can be so in the weeds of building a business, but you have got to find a moment to look up and see that there's a lot more going on around you
Just don't
than
show
just that. You have to. Otherwise, I think your judgment is skewed.
There's nothing I love more than
There's nothing I love more than Megan's bath salts.
For 7 years, that's a
Totally.
really strong connection. And I loved the crew.
I love
Okay,
the crew.
well,
I don't
we gotta-
bully them. I love the crew. I don't bully
there are
anybody.
skills that you got from your days as an actress that are transferable into this new entrepreneurial world that you're in.
Of course. I mean, again, having a thick skin, partnerships and the value of, having great relationships when you're building certainly lots of different SKUs is key. And so a piece of advice I was given years ago as an auditioning actress was don't try to book the part, book the room. Meaning it doesn't matter if you don't get that role. You might not be right for it. You might remind the director of an ex-girlfriend that broke his heart. It could be any number of
Oh,
reasons.
that's
It's not about the part.
very
You're going to see
prophetic.
those producers and those casting directors
Over
at
and
so
over.
many other opportunities. Book the room. Let them see that you're talented. Let them see you have something to bring to the table. Treat them with kindness. All of those relationships end up coming to fruition. You don't know when, but just like with life, relationships matter. So I learned that in the very long road of auditioning.
I learned how to snow Harry in the royal family early on in my auditioning days.
For sure.
Do you ever miss acting?
Sometimes. But actually, having a large team, being back on set with Love Meghan was great because I realized how much I had missed my crew. I love being around a crew.
Yeah, it must be hard
I
to
love
let that
being
go.
around men
Yeah.
that I can
That was
control.
different. And also it was such a unique time because we couldn't say that I was leaving necessarily. It was speculated. So after 7 years on the series, we couldn't have a going away party. I couldn't say my goodbyes.
Oh,
in the
that's so
same way.
sad.
I know. So
I read somewhere that the dude that was her love
talking about the
interest.
Suits?
Yeah, I read somewhere that they were leaving.
Wait.
There was,
You didn't have a going away party. They came to your wedding.
yeah.
Yeah, your family didn't even come. They came. So why are you? This is a constant lie fest.
Yeah, it is.
if my crew's watching it, I've missed you guys. I wish I could have said
Oh,
bye.
do you miss them? You must.
You
She
know, they
couldn't
all
even look in the camera.
they all live in California, Megan.
You can call them up and you can have them over to your house.
Yeah, if
You
you-
could literally, I mean, they're probably down the street, some of them.
Yeah.
You can just call them and you can say, hey, do you want to go have lunch? Or why don't you guys come over and I'll make you guys dinner and
Yeah.
I'll put flour sprinkles on your steak. Like, why don't you just ask
Have
them
a
over?
barbecue.
Do.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
worked with people
You're
for
like a
7
family.
years.
Yeah.
For 7 years, that's a really
Totally.
strong connection, and I loved the crew. So I think for me, having the series, even though it wasn't scripted, was really great to get
Oh, it was scripted.
Oh, yeah.
it was scripted.
That was scripted.
that piece back. But then also building my own business. You have a team, and that's really what I was craving as well.
Yeah, no, I can imagine that.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you a little.
Yeah, I can imagine that, Megan.
Emma's great at this though, and I want to say she really is. She's an intellectual bully because what she's doing is that every other thing is negative towards Meghan, but then she comes around and she compliments her. She fake compliments Meghan
Yeah.
just to try to get her to come back into the interview.
Because when
It's
she sees
brilliant.
she's losing her.
When she
yeah.
sees she's losing her a little bit and the mask is slipping, she'll go, oh yeah, I totally agree with you. But that's all lies.
Mhm.
So that is a genius way of doing it.
Well, she had to work with the Kardashians for years.
She had to be a yes person to Kim Kardashian. Of course, she knows how to talk to Meghan Markle.
little bit about the public narrative, because when you sign up to be an actress, you know that people are going to start recognizing you, they're going to start speaking to you on the street, but that's very different from what you have now.
It is, Emma. It's very
It is.
Emma, let me pet you again. It is Emma.
Emma.
different.
no shit. I wonder, and listen, I want to say this to you in the best way, because I wonder if you could rewrite your public narrative from scratch.
yeah.
Is there anything that you would do differently?
Yes, I would ask people to tell the truth.
Now, this was the soundbite that was heard all over the world yesterday. This took Twitter by storm, Twitter X by storm.
Talk about global.
So, I mean, she was like, yeah, I would have people stop lying about me. Now, a lot of people went to the Princess Catherine stuff, Prince William, the family. I mean, yeah, we're dabbling right back into the Oprah interview.
Yeah, she's
You're very measured about it. I mean, I feel like, I don't know, I'm such a hothead.
Are you? What's your sign?
I'm a Libra.
Do you see how? Do you see how uncomfortable that question was for Meghan? That now she's trying to switch up and question Emma. Oh, really? What's your sign? She probably does that. She does this probably in real life to people, where people are asking her real questions, and she has to then take over and change the subject.
What's your sign?
I
don't know if I
know.
know
And it's
Libras.
like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a bit, ghetto with it, like a little bit hood. I would just get so angry if I felt like everyone was lying about me all the time. Like, don't you ever feel like just being like, just leave me alone. Like, let me show you. Is there a part of you that ever is just like, just leave me alone?
Peaks and valleys.
Peaks and valleys.
You
Fair
know?
enough.
No, I mean, like,
Very elegant.
but it's true. Of course, I've gone through those chapters, and you do a lot of work. You do a lot of self work and go,
She's not
what's the
answering
why?
the question.
Yeah.
She's doing what Harry did in that panel. It's like a roller coaster ride. It goes up and down. My assistants only come to me when it's a need to know basis. I mean, this is classic diversion.
It's happening for a reason. And my dear friend Serena, who I'm sure you know,
She name dropped Serena.
She name dropped Serena Williams. Let's listen.
Serena.
she's
She's
a
like
good
my
egg.
girl crush. Talk about successful entrepreneur, by the way.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
She
You see how she changed the
Not-
subject?
Not as
But do you
successful
see how
as me.
do you see how she changed the
Yeah, yeah.
subject?
doing so well.
she's
said to me
killing. I mean, she's
years ago.
literally, it's amazing that she can have like that type of career and then this
Now we
type of
forgot
business
what-
career. I don't,
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I'm just saying now we
I
forgot what Emma
want
was
everybody to see what happens when Emma starts giving Serena
Oh, I haven't seen
accolades.
this.
I know, because you keep talking over it. Okay, Stephanie.
Thought we were doing a reaction.
I
video.
know we are. That's why we have to listen.
and I wonder how you think about, you know, that as it relates to your advocacy work, that
Okay. She just had a really good point about
That's
Serena.
probably part of the magic. But she told me years ago, a lie.
Here we go. Now watch.
For 7 years, that's a really
Totally.
strong connection. And I love
Sorry, guys.
for 7 years, that's a
Totally.
really,
I
She's-
love Serena.
Here we go.
She's like my
today.
girl crush. Talk about successful entrepreneur, by the way.
oh yeah. Yeah. She's doing so well. She
She's
said to me
killing. I mean, she's
years ago,
literally, it's amazing that she can have like that type of career and
Look at Megan's face
Ugh.
when she starts giving Serena
Sorry, just-
accolades.
then this type of business career. I don't
Mhm.
even know that people fully have grasped like how successful she is.
but also translating knowledge from the court
Uh-huh.
and being dedicated and
all the things.
to another avenue. It doesn't mean that you have to stay in one lane for your whole life. It means that you can translate those skills somewhere else. That's probably part of the magic. But she told me years ago, a lie can't live forever. 8 years is a long time. But
What lie? What lie? What's she talking about? A lie can't live forever. 8 years is a long time. What lie? Say it, Megan. If you've got such chutzpah right now, freaking say it.
not forever.
So how do you walk the line between owning your own narrative and feeding the frenzy? Because again, when you have a business, you need to go out and promote it. You need to go and do, you know, whatever it is that you might need to do. Speak to the media, turn up at a
Yeah.
retailer convention, like whatever it might be. So how for you are you able to toe the line?
I think it's a fine line, but it's also setting up boundaries, which I would say to anyone.
She's not answering the question again. Right now, Emma is asking why she doesn't go on Fallon, why she doesn't talk to the press on red carpets, why she doesn't turn on her, why she doesn't turn on her comments on Instagram. This is what Emma's asking, and now this is her response.
No matter what you're going through, what your experience has been, you set boundaries of where you're comfortable. And it's okay to say no. It's okay to say, I'm not comfortable answering that. It's okay to pivot.
You've never had anyone ask you a question because you are not in the position where you can say, I don't feel comfortable asking that. You've only been on Oprah. You've only been on Vanity Fair, pay to play red carpets. That's all you've ever done. You don't have the balls to turn on your comments.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you mean
You,
you're comfortable?
you coward.
Then you know what? Then you are in the wrong business.
You do not have a thick skin, Megan. You are a coward.
Oh yeah.
And to really get to the place where you don't feel as though you have to explain yourself. And I think that's
You've been explaining yourself for the past 45 minutes.
Yes.
In like the worst
About
way.
how authentic you are, about how
Yeah.
they're all your ideas, about how wonderful you are, about how
Your team.
I mean, everybody is breathing the air that you breathe.
That's basically what she's
Okay.
doing.
that comes with time, maturity, work, support surrounding you.
Mm-hmm.
But also to be authentic. You know, I
Oh,
crap.
Jesus.
Damn it.
Damn it.
So I
don't
wanna
think there's
hear-
any
I know, it's
value
all-
either in being
Gotta keep-
so rehearsed and just having your talking points and just saying the thing. No, just talk.
It's just not the time for it. I think that there is an element of where we are in culture right now that, like it or loathe it, we crave authenticity. Like, we want those people that we
Authenticity.
believe.
Oh,
fuck.
shoot. She said authenticity. Damn it. Oh, Nancy just spilled vodka on my leg.
Oh my God.
At least it's a hot day. Okay.
Oh my
Ooh,
God.
that's gonna. Ooh. At least it's on my leg and not the carpet, so the dogs won't get
Damn
it.
it.
Okay, it's fine.
Fudge.
It felt good. Okay, ready? Go. Okay.
rightly or wrongly, are telling us the truth. And
Yes.
so I feel like there is no point in having rehearsed lines and a narrative that is like, fully, written out that isn't your own. You have to be authentic.
Oh,
It's authentic. Did you see
I
my
didn't
baby mama
finish that.
dance?
I mean, stop it. First of all, can I just tell you the timing of that? We maybe watched it like 20 times yesterday. And I was like, is that her?
Oh my
Is
God.
that Prince Harry?
You know what Emma just said? Emma just said that they've watched this, that she watched it 20 times yesterday when it came out.
Mhm. Yeah, we this isn't
So the
live.
day after Betty's birthday, Meghan did this podcast.
Mhm.
She must have taken them to Disneyland the week before.
Yeah, we don't know.
So she was like, hey, Betty, I know we promised you to go to Disneyland for your birthday weekend, but we need to do it the week
Okay, we don't know
before
for sure.
because mommy's going on a podcast.
Yeah, with the fingers and the. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
okay, Meghan and
I like how she describes Harry with the fingers.
Yeah,
Harry,
really
let's
like
go.
But I think it's
But that's you, right? Like that's you in a way that we kind of haven't been able to see you before. And I did like a little secret cheer because I was like, well, that's what I kind of want to see from you. Like I want to see that happiness and that honesty and that
Realness.
like, I don't give a fuck.
But
kind
also,
of thing.
by the way, that wasn't yesterday.
No, true.
That was 4 years ago. So it's also a really great reminder that with all the noise or whatever people do, there's still a whole life, a real, authentic, fun life that's happening.
Oh,
Drinking
come on,
again. I'm
man.
getting drunk, dude. I don't want to.
I'm putting half vodka in this.
Okay.
And you
I
you
still
just
have
do
this much
No,
of
why
it.
can't we just sip?
Okay.
Sip it. Don't
I do.
Don't
I
down
still have it from
okay,
the last
sip
one.
it.
I'm not drinking. I'm feeling like drunk.
Okay, just sip it.
Happening behind the scenes. I'm
used to
just
vodka.
grateful that
Megan, we'll send you the hospital bill.
now being back on social as well, I have a place where I can share it on my
Yes.
own terms.
on your own terms. And that's really, really important. You've really embraced social media. Do you enjoy it or does it feel like a bit of a drag?
No, it doesn't feel like a drag. It feels
Okay.
liberating. I have to look again.
Open your comments.
Open your comments. Open the comments.
What was my intention? I came back, started the account in January of this year.
Or no.
Was it only January?
Yeah.
Oh.
The last time I was on social, Boomerang was around.
Oh, Lord.
It's been a
Girl.
minute. There was no stories. They're like, all of it's new. There were no
Who is teaching
gadgets
you?
where you could have a little tripod that I'm
Uh-huh.
sitting. You should see me sitting there trying to figure out the magnet
You've
on
got
it.
the
I was like,
things.
oh, okay.
Yes, yes.
And figuring I don't have
We are
key
drunk. We are drunk.
I love that. I thought she meant Eddie Murphy comedy.
Yeah.
Boomerang.
Yeah, I gotta drink more seltzer. Go. Okay, no.
I thought she meant
lights and
Eddie
all. I
Murphy.
don't have all this business yet, but I'm just, I don't know if you need it. I think if part of it is just being able to authentically share in real time the things that are happening that I think someone might be able to laugh with or enjoy or be inspired by, then I want to do that in a way that feels like I can still have my hands on it and not be overproduced.
But are you thinking about it in the way that so many of us do as also a business tool?
Not for my personal account.
Really?
no. For my personal account?
Yeah.
No.
Well, that's the one we're all following.
Well, good.
That's
a
the
lot
one
of you
that
are
we're
following
like,
as ever.
just
too.
drop.
Good for you, Emma.
Whoa. She goes,
She
a
goes-
lot of you are no.
She
less
goes,
than-
my personal account? And she goes, yeah, that's the one we're all following, you dingbat.
That's how you're merching the kids'
No, I
clothes
know.
and your own clothes. Stop.
Yeah,
I'm just
not
talking.
to be overproduced.
Yeah, it's like, what do you? And Emma called her on it. Emma's not stupid.
We
She
just-
knows
I
how.
just-
She knows how Instagram works.
Yeah.
No, I think for me, it was a great way to get my voice back.
Yeah, you have to.
Get my
I mean,
voice back.
1,000,000%.
Yeah. And that's really, it's my space and my channel for joy. That is the intent.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I love how Emma is not buying her bullshit.
Of,
Sorry, Mom.
of my handle.
Well, I think that your voice carries such unbelievable influence. I remember a time where you were like, step out with a sweater, the sweater would sell out. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Like, how do you feel about that? Was that part of the reason for you starting a brand? Like, have you been able to reconcile the fact that you have that type of influence? And I wonder how you think about, you know, that as it relates to your advocacy work, that as it relates to your business ventures, because it's a lot. It's a lot to carry around.
Well, it's funny because that's been now for several years, that effect. And
Ooh, we're talking about the Meghan effect. Let me tell you something about the Meghan effect. If that were true, then designers would be I'm so drunk right now. Designers would be giving her brand deals. She would not have to start a Shop My page, okay? Nobody starts a Shop My page when they sell out of items. This is the biggest BS I've ever heard in my life. It's fraud.
again, I think my feelings surrounding it have ebbed and flowed because you say imitation is the best form of flattery. And at the same time, you start to watch how it's being monetized at such a huge level globally. oftentimes not giving credit to the brands and the designers who actually made those pieces.
Right.
So it was that fine line between, well, do you want to spoon feed who the brands and the designers are? And then it feels promotional. When I have no skin in the game in any of those arrangements. And at the same time,
She just lied about the shop.
do you want people to mislabel
That's not true, because in Shop My, she gets a percentage. She gets a percentage.
it? Because when I didn't feel as though I had as much of an opportunity to speak, well, what can you say with what you're wearing? You can say a lot.
Quite a lot.
You can say a lot. And so being able to support
A wrinkled mess is what you're trying to portray yourself to be to the entire world.
Yeah.
especially female-founded
Untailored.
designers, small local brands, any territories we would go to on certain tours, I always tried to tap into local designers to really see their business just do so well as a result, or how many people they could help, or how much they could give back.
And you're
many-
saying you were
should've
purposeful with
stayed
that.
there.
Of course. There's intention.
Mm.
And so I think in moments where I found I wasn't as empowered with my voice, I still wanted to be able to be heard in other ways. I still wanted women to know that I was supporting them. I still wanted people to feel like even if I didn't get an uplift from that they did. And in some ways that actually did uplift me, because I went, oh my gosh, like,
Okay, she's literally acting like she's the first royal to ever feature the local brands.
She's doing the God complex, and she's doing that
Oh
like
my
I created everything in the world.
Princess Diana did it.
Yeah. She's
Queen-
a trailblazer.
Queen Camilla does it. Queen Elizabeth did it.
Didn't Zara
And everyone
Zara,
does it.
Zara does some stuff on the equestrian.
Everybody
Okay.
does it when they go on the royal tours.
Yeah.
They wear brands that are local and all that stuff.
sustainable.
Princess Catherine does it. She's acting like she invented that.
Oh, she did.
there was a company, they made jeans and they would help women.
Was it Good American? No.
You weren't around then. But they made jeans and they gave the positions and the roles to women who would have been trafficked, and they took them off the streets and they.
She
You
can't remember
are
the name.
She couldn't remember
She
the
can't
name.
remember.
She doesn't employ a big diverse crowd. We know this. We've shown you the Archwell employee roster.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of Black women on that roster. So right now she's feeding us a bill of goods again, and she's lying.
She can't remember the name of the jeans.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I don't know.
put them into this labor force to be able to have a well-paying job where they are well taken care of, to be able to help that company and get letters from those founders saying, we were able to help save 25 women because of you wearing these jeans. That is a huge privilege.
She is so
wait.
full
Wait,
of garbage.
Then why did you leave the royal family if you were getting that sort of satisfaction?
You had it all.
You
Did
had it.
Do you know how many eyes were on you when you were the Duchess of Sussex? Do you remember that?
Privilege of influence. And I never took that lightly. So I think, had I chosen to just maximize the opportunity of the financial element of having a business, doing fashion would have been very obvious, as we talked about. But I wanted to.
Nope.
I guarantee she did demos and test.
She
groups.
tried.
I guarantee she was trying to do some sort of fashion thing, and people were like, "It's not going to work."
Do
out.
we not remember all those pop? Where's the vodka? Do you remember all those pap shots when she was merching the clothes? She used to do 2 in one day. Remember, she did Cipriani's and then she did some
she
sushi
was
restaurant.
testing
She
the
was
waters.
testing the waters, and everybody called BS.
Yeah.
go with what my heart was really responding to in this moment.
Was there ever a time when the influence you have actually
Wait. So
Stephanie,
I'm sorry. I just got to say this. So her heart went from the trafficking women with the jeans to then jam.
Yeah.
That's where her heart told her to go to.
Yeah.
Why didn't you just stick with the trafficking women jeans thing?
Because she doesn't care about that.
Durr.
really surprised you?
At the beginning, of course. At the
Were you like, what is happening here?
What is going on?
Talking over it.
Those founders saying, we were able to help save 25 women because of you wearing these jeans. That is a huge privilege of influence. And I never took that lightly. So I think, had I chosen to just maximize the opportunity of the financial element of having a business, doing fashion would have been very obvious as we talked.
Okay, so you completely said, you know what, guys? I could go into fashion. I can totally go into fashion right now. And I could help underprivileged people and I could make a ton of money. But instead, I think I'm going to go into jam. But I know, I'm shocked. Stephanie, I've been drinking. What do you want me to do?
You just repeated what I said. That's awesome.
About, but I wanted to go with what my heart was really responding to in this moment.
Was there ever a time when the influence you have actually really surprised you?
At the beginning, of course.
Laughing.
What is happening here?
What is going on?
But I just put a sweater around my shoulders.
I mean, yeah, wild. But
she keeps looking up. She knew exactly the influence she
you
had.
You think after the Oprah interview, we weren't all going to watch you?
No, she's talking about when she first married into the royal family, the influence she had. She's acting like I had no idea.
No, she's talking about after the. No, she's not.
No,
she's talking about when she started merching in Montecito. That's what she's talking about.
I don't agree.
I agree.
I can disagree
with myself.
But you have to think too, the 7 years before that on Suits, that was a very fashion driven show. And people loved Rachel Zane's wardrobe, which I was very, very involved with because I wanted it to look like a capsule that a real woman would wear.
Meghan, nobody watched that show. Because you wore pencil skirts, I guess. She wore pencil skirts.
Mix and match. And I was one of the only characters that re-wore pieces. But that was by design. So I knew that there was influence there. But yes, it certainly got bigger.
I'm not doing it.
It really got bigger.
Got a lot bigger.
Are you comfortable with that?
I have to be. It's my life.
Yeah. You get comfortable, basically.
You get comfortable.
You get
to be an acceptance of what is.
Yeah, no, completely. But I also think it's really amazing that you can participate in that now because after a while it can, I think it's wonderful and it's great that everybody can gain from it. But I do think that there is a time and a place in your life where you need to have some skin in the game. You need to have a piece of that for yourself.
Yes. And I think what was so wild, maybe the surprise came in when anything that my children were wearing started to get monetized and affiliate sales.
She is acting stupid now. She's playing the stupid card.
She's playing the coquettish dumb card.
She's like, I had no idea that if I posted my kids in certain pajamas on my Instagram page,
that would be monetized.
Man, she's playing the whole. I had to Google the royal family card.
Yeah,
and part of headlines and things. That's where it became a little uncomfortable.
Yeah. Uncomfortable?
Then why are you posting them on Instagram?
Why did you put little Betty next to the Candyland game? Well, I did that research. Remember, Candyland sponsors some of Serena's husband's businesses.
Who plays a board game with Serena Williams and props up a game perfectly on the counter like that?
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
You did that, Meghan. Okay.
God, what a liar.
But at the same time, when it comes from a place of love and excitement, very, very different.
It's very different.
Yeah, then you can be happy about it and say, of course, have the same dress that Lily has. It's when it comes from a different side.
She's mentioning Betty. This girl is going to try to make little girls' clothes.
She's talked about fashion about 400 times.
And she's going to make the label, Mama Knows Best.
There you go.
That's what's going to happen. You heard it here first.
Well, not really.
But that's true of most things in life.
So with Archwell, you've built this ecosystem of philanthropy, storytelling. It feels like, you've now got the commerce and the brand piece of that.
Yes.
So, it really is. It's like an empire that you're building, like a media and commerce empire.
Global.
And I wonder if you thought about it in the sense of having real guiding principles for what you will be involved in, what you allow yourselves to get involved in. Was that a part of your,
here's Archwell.
Was it part of what you were thinking about as you started bringing all these things together?
There was a lot of, again, flying the plane while you're still building it, but always at its origin,
With Archwell?
being so value aligned with what my husband and I believe in. And that's where it started. It started when we moved out here and building the foundation.
She's scratching.
But,
she's scratching. She's going from her nose to underneath her eye. That's higher up on the face, bigger the lie.
As things expanded and certainly talking about what sort of content we want to put out, what sort of documentaries we want to make, what stories we want to tell.
You're not the Obamas.
Wait.
You're not the Obamas.
Wait, I thought Archwell was a charity.
Yeah.
Now we're wait. Archwell's funding.
You didn't hear Emma
No, I
said
know.
Archwell Productions.
That's what I'm saying, though.
Yeah.
It's the same name.
I know,
Expanded
but
under
it's
the
a
Archwell
different
universe with the
well,
production
she's
company.
got a lot of
And, you know, building out in my own office, my brand and my business has felt really exciting and different. They all still are value aligned. When my husband and I, when we think about investments that we make, or certainly my own personal portfolio, is it value aligned? Is it mission driven? Is it purpose driven? And that can run the gamut. You know, some of the investments that I started to make in women and female founded companies started with things as simple as, what is the meaningful impact that a beautiful latte that you can make at home will have? It sounds so silly, but when it's adaptogens and it's good for you, like with Clever, I was really proud to be her first investor.
Okay, now we're talking. Now she has pivoted to Clever. Well, geez.
She freaking, you know what they did? They took Rise and they lifted the idea. That's what they did.
So now she's pivoting to her other investment company, Clever Mushroom Feet Tea.
Mushroom feeds.
And it was my very first investment also, so I learned quite a bit there. On the flip side of that, you look at a company like MIDI, which is women talking about perimenopause and menopause, and that is a chapter of their life that's making a very meaningful.
I'm glad she said that. Okay, I was going to tell you guys about this because I think I figured out the new grift, because it always starts with Oprah. Oprah is grifting, not menopause, pre-menopause stuff, like the
Patch.
All these
Remember that
different
patch she had
herbal
on?
things. No. But seriously,
saying no.
the new grift with women, because I had been seeing this on Instagram.
Yeah.
All my friends on Instagram are going like trying to sell these
Nancy's
pre-menopause
buying
stuff.
it.
No. But I'm telling you,
No,
I think that's the new grift.
Yeah.
She's going to do
impact for a lot of women. I look at who's on the cap table. Melinda Gates is one that's there. And I look at whose company I'm going to be in as I support these brands, as I'm sure you do too.
Well, I wanted to ask you about that because I feel like investing is so different from everything else. And I wonder, you know, it's very clear to me that you've got a lot of principles around who you're backing. But is there anything else that you're like, are you out there specifically looking? Are things coming to you? How do you think about that side of your business?
Both. I'm looking at what comes through organically, not just through the people that can help put the portfolio together, but friends that are in VC, female founders that you're sort of tracking and saying, what are
Your only friends are investors right now and female founders.
Yeah.
That's because that's what you're doing. When you do the next grift in 10 years, you're
It's
going to
not-
drop them all.
Yeah.
they up to next? Really interested in fintech. I also, you know, I think financial literacy for young women especially is just so important. And so from my standpoint, not leaning away from things like that might not be as trendy or topical to talk about, but they are vital. So I look at things where that's going to move the needle for young women and their education and what they can have access to and feel a lot of growth from in a
What?
substantive way.
Wait,
And at the same
what?
time,
Just talking
where
about
can you
stuff
find
she's
some fun
invested in.
and
Oh, she's doing
playfulness?
this
Where
again.
can you take some bets and say, it's not just about the brand. When I think about investments, it's about the founder as well. I really need to believe in the people that are driving
So
that.
important.
That's
It's
funny.
so important.
I'm sorry, that's
You know, and
really
I watched your
funny.
episode of Shark Tank, and it's really like that critical thinking that has to come in when you are talking about real capital that you're going to put up for someone else's dream. You have to entrust that they are going to bring that dream to reality responsibly.
Yes. Well, this is also your money. that
It's not
you worked
monopoly
for,
money.
Right?
It is not, this is
Exactly.
not monopoly
Yes.
money. This is real.
Yes.
Wait, so you believe in mushroom feed tea?
And it really, I think, changes how you explore. You can have an incredible concept in front of you. But if you don't really firmly trust and have incredible confidence in the people that are running it and have brought that vision to life, it's not going to work. So there have been a lot of opportunities that I've had to say no to based on that. And at the same time, you know that there's so much creativity out there that I want to find the person and the people that are working quietly behind the scenes and then help maximize.
Okay, wait.
What's she talking
Clever
about?
is not behind the scenes. Oprah invest in this. You're not for the little people, Megan. You're not starting from the ground
Yeah,
up.
and
This
I-
is an Oprah-driven company.
And I hate to break it to you, Megan, but you're actually lying right now and saying that
Okay.
you're looking to invest in women, but you have to know what the right investment is. You need to worry about your own business at this point. You have money to
Optimize
invest
that
in
for
other
them
people.
and put a huge spotlight on that for them to see them go and change their family's life.
And it really is about changing their family's life. I mean, when I think about investing, that's why I was asking you about your principles. You know, I have like a pretty impressive deal flow at this point in my career.
I bet you do.
But I'm really trying to look for those people. And I think this came from all those, you know, a couple of seasons that I did on Shark Tank. But I'm always looking for people that I don't think would get the funding elsewhere, because I've been in those rooms. It wasn't so long ago when I was trying to raise money for businesses myself and really getting the feeling that I'm walking out of here with nothing. Like, these people don't understand what I'm doing. They don't understand me. I don't sound like they want me to sound. Like, it's just, I don't have the educational background. Yeah. But, at some point when you don't have anything behind you, it's very, very difficult. And so for me, it's always about finding these founders that I think they are not going to be able to walk into a room and walk out with the check. And so when you think about investment principles, are there reasons? Because again, there's such a thread running through everything that you're doing right now. And is this following that same type of trajectory of everything else that you've got going on?
I think everything that I am working on is an extension of me. It's an extension of my personal taste. It's an extension of my values. It's an extension of how I like to show up in the room, right? And ultimately, I really value thoughtfulness. I really value attention to detail. And, I've said playfulness a lot, but I think that seriousness in business and playfulness do not need to be mutually exclusive. I value that as well. You see that in the series, you see that in the podcast, and certainly in the brand. Not everything can be so earnest. You can have something that is best in class, incredible quality, thoughtful in its design, but with a little cheek.
Yeah.
And a little wink. And would you
ever do something just for the money if you thought this is going to kill? This is going to be an amazing business.
I have turned down a lot of opportunities that do not feel value aligned. No, it's very easy to say no, no matter the price. If you aren't going to be able to sleep well at night, don't sacrifice.
Wait, you sleep well at night over your pap shots and
your jam?
Your jam? That's how you sleep, and dead flowers? That's what keeps you aligned?
Sacrifice
totally.
No,
but
way.
Hopefully you can find, some investments that let you sleep well at night and make loads of money. That's what I'm always looking for.
Is that a page in your playbook?
100%. Okay, so we can talk about that. I've got those and I've got those.
Yeah, no, at the moment, it's all in this one lane.
I love that. No, but that's really, it's interesting because I think we all come at these things from, a very different background. And when I think about putting my money to work.
You have no idea how many deals are coming at me in a day that I have to say no to.
I have to turn down a lot.
You have no freaking idea. We were
to me, it
invited
literally
to the Vanity Fair Oscar party, and Ralph Lauren wanted to dress me and Harry, and I said no.
Feels like that. It's like, I want that money to work. And there's a piece of what I do that is very firmly sits over here. And it's for those people I don't think would get funding. And there's another piece of it that is just purely opportunistic. And I say that without apologizing, because it's like, I made this money and I need this money to work for me. It's like, I've got things to do. You know?
Well, and it's also very refreshing to hear a woman in business say that, because I think often what happens is we are trained as young girls to not talk about money. We are trained as young girls that it's very gauche to talk about finances, but that's a part of life.
Well, that's what keeps us out of making all the money.
Fair.
This is it, right? Because the minute you don't speak about something, it's just like for years when women didn't talk about, their own sexual pleasure. Well, guess what? Like, they missed out on a lot of fun times, and it's exactly the same with money. But
you know what, Meghan, in the sex toy industry, that might work.
Oh, it'll come
because there's a lot of money in that. A lot of housewives have put their names on the sex toy stuff. That's like lucrative.
That
is, I don't think of those things as any more different. It's like if you elegantly avoid the subject of money, you will find that the money somehow elegantly avoids you. And so I talk about it all the time. I'm like, do you know what I mean? Or like just blatantly. So we have to be able to speak about money. We have to be able to, articulate what we need and what our value is, because those two things are inextricably linked. And if we're not talking about it, we ain't going to get it.
Yes. And you have no shame talking about it.
There's nothing
to not
shameful
cower
about it.
as you're talking about it. Do you know Melody Hobson?
Oh,
the dream.
First of all, I love Melody so much. She was my second guest on the podcast.
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize that.
I love Melody. I love her so much. And I mean, her episode was amazing because, Melody's, she's all about the finance. Like that's her career. That's what she is so knowledgeable about. And she speaks about it in such an elegant way, but that's her whole life. She's not shying away from having those
Emma's not gonna
conversations.
Of course
forget
not.
this.
She and I did an episode of Deal Book together years ago. And I must have
Wait, deal or no deal? That's the
No
yeah,
deal
no,
book.
we did an episode of Deal or No
Yeah.
Deal once, and we both had to open up suitcases full of money.
Yeah.
God,
She
let me
meant
tell
deal book.
you about this.
She meant deal book,
Yeah, I
guys.
know.
I just want
years
them
ago,
to
so
know.
it just had
It is
Lily.
funny if it was.
And I think it's just so empowering to hear a woman, and especially a woman of color, stand in the truth and the knowing that she does not need to shy away from a conversation that a man would comfortably have.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, especially as moms and as working moms, you want that to be part of the modeling that you do for your daughter and
Yes.
your son. But for your daughter,
Poor
I think
Betty.
it's pivotal for them to understand that they cannot be afraid of those conversations. You're only selling yourself short.
You're only
Tell
selling
them
yourself
about
short.
money.
Do you have, I mean, your kids are really little. Mine are
Landmines and
I
money.
mean, could you imagine mom and dad sitting us down and going, we need to have that money talk.
We have to have that money talk, guys. Okay, we'll talk about landmines first. The fact that there's no
No Santa.
Santa, and now we're going to talk about money. Get the checkbook out.
Money.
Money.
bit older. Do you have conversations with your kids about money? Like, how are you even beginning to think about that type of thing?
Well, we sometimes do a little farmer's market stand.
Nice.
So we have,
That's so American. I love that idea. Like a little lemonade stand just makes me feel like that is like perfect Americana in Montecito with a farm stand.
but
Like,
we do,
how
we
beautiful.
We grow a lot of veggies and
Guys, I just
Stephanie,
want to
they're
no.
talking
I
about
want
the
to say
kids,
I want to
dude.
say this one thing. That is
God.
not American. Having a lemonade stand in Montecito, one of the richest zip codes in the United States, that is not American.
Steph, every kid deserves to have
I'm
that.
talking
okay?
about it's not American. She mentioned Montecito.
She's talking about her kids having a little stand to sell things. Let's see what she says about it.
part of
And
what
you're
I
like,
want them
go and sell these kids.
part of what I want them to learn is, and gardening is really, really so great for children because it teaches them patience, teaches them to value and appreciate
She's repeating what Princess Catherine said. Remember, like 5-6 years ago when she made that garden?
their food. So you start from seed and you watch it grow and they wait. But with that, it's like, now do you want to sell your harvest? And do you want to share it with our community? And also, what do you want to do with those funds once you have them? So really starting to understand as they're learning counting and numbers and all of those things that there's a cost and a price for things.
Yes.
And I
Yeah,
think
no
that's key for
shit.
children to understand that, especially children who are very lucky to have a home that has privilege. You need to know that, just like manners, and taking care of the things around you, there is a value on things. And in our
Then why are you making them style them as prince and princess? Like, why don't you just like let them grow up like normal kids?
No, because she said the monetization is important. The money is important. We
Yeah.
have to teach the children early that this is important.
Yeah, that's nuts.
our life for my husband and I, it's really important that they understand the value of things.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, Melody wrote the book on
Going
it.
to Disneyland
The dream suite.
at the Dream Suite and cutting off certain areas of Disneyland. You're right. That's teaching children the value of $1.
Yeah.
Actually, for all of the kids. So it's a great one. It's just such a beautiful book.
Yes.
Switching gear, I want to talk about your podcast, Confessions of a Female Founder.
It's fun.
It's so fun. I mean, it is really, really fun. But the whole idea of that podcast is that you are spotlighting female entrepreneurs, right?
Yes.
And I just want to ask you, I mean, why that show and why right now?
Wait, isn't that what you're doing,
was
Emma?
perfect synergy. Think about the timing of that.
No, I
mean-
was like, she's going to school. This is what's happening.
Think
How
about
smart.
the timing of that. I literally, I was
What
so
are the odds that I'm selling and I'm an entrepreneur and now I have this opportunity to talk about it?
Talk
I mean,
about women that
guys,
I don't know.
did you see how those stars aligned? I mean, that is pretty crazy.
This is making me sick.
fortunate to find Lemonade. I loved that it was a female-founded company
found
that was
it.
doing
You
podcasts.
got
and women-
fired. You got fired.
From Spotify.
You got fired, Megan. Just say it. I got fired and then I had to shop around something else.
running it. Incredible. They actually just had an acquisition.
Amazing.
Proud of them.
Good for them.
Proud of
Stephanie and
them.
Jess, good job,
That's the
ladies.
dog.
And-
We get it.
And, knowing that it was in a safe place where we could have these conversations when it came to what do we want to talk about? What do I want this podcast to be? As I knew I was in this building phase of my business, what an amazing opportunity to pull back the curtain and let people see what's happening at the start.
Yeah.
What?
at the start, when all the twists and turns are there, and
Archetypes.
for me to have the opportunity to talk to so many female founders who've been on that full trajectory, that are on the other side of success, still at certain chapters in their career and their growth, but to be able to be really candid and vulnerable personally about my learns and stumbles along the way, and to then take everyone's advice and mine included, and to say, I love that there's so much excitement and desire for another season, but I need to focus on my business.
Oh, so she's not going to get another season. She's like, there's no way I can do another season, you guys, because I need to focus on my business.
So you've done, how many episodes did you do?
We did 8 and a bonus episode. So Tina Knowles came on to do the last one.
Oh, Tina, that's a
Miss
good
Tina.
one.
Yeah.
That's such a good one.
Matriarch.
Okay, so wait a minute, but this was a
Emma and
We learned
Meghan-
nothing.
Emma and Meghan are both playing the game. How much little do I care about your existence in the world? Because Megan's acting like, oh, you did that? Oh, I didn't know that. And Emma's like, oh, you had Tina Knowles on your podcast?
No, and also Meghan earlier goes, she goes, oh yeah, we watched with Love Meghan, and she goes, did you cook anything from the show? And she goes, no,
I didn't really watch it.
no, she did. She
No,
goes,
I
I
know.
watched it. She goes, no. Yeah, you don't have to say.
decision to say, okay, I'm going to stop this now, because you were having like huge success. I mean, I
Yes.
was hearing about that podcast everywhere, and
Yeah.
you've decided, I'm going to stop and focus on the business.
Have to.
Nice.
Have to, because at a certain point, I was thinking about this morning.
You're like, this
So
is
you're like,
too much.
Well, people
That's what I was thinking this morning.
People seem to forget that very rarely do people see everything that's happening behind the scenes. I could show a small glimpse of that, but equally, yes, I wrapped season 1 of my Netflix series.
No,
Still had to promote it.
no, you
You didn't
no,
promote it?
Well, you wrapped season 1 with 2 parts in it.
yeah, you filmed
you
an entire
you
thing.
filmed
the
part 2.
The spring of 2024, you filmed a bunch
Right.
of episodes.
Okay.
And then they just
Things
did it.
might be edited in now.
Yeah.
But
What the hell are you talking
But
about?
this is part 2. This
Yeah.
is not season 2.
You did not get renewed a season.
Still had to be in the edits for season 2.
Bullshit.
No,
you didn't.
Netflix is squeezing you like a turnip.
Yeah.
We were in pre-production of one season while we were doing post-production of the
You're lying
Yeah,
right now.
no, that's true.
No, but
we were
I-
in pre-production while we were doing
No, I
postseason. That
understand
makes
but
sense.
She's acting like she was in the editing bay watching the
no,
dailies.
no. But yeah, I get it.
together. It's constant. I just wrapped edits on season 2 of With Love Meghan last week.
Bullshit.
Yeah, I think she might be doing focus groups.
So it's still ongoing while also doing a podcast,
Mhm.
while also building my business. And at a certain point, the only thing I want spread thin is my jam. Okay.
Oh,
and I
who
think
wrote
overnight,
that,
it
guys?
can't
Jesus,
happen
Stephanie,
overnight.
wait.
I guess the difference was
Who
with
wrote
me
that?
is that
Oh my God. We're sorry, you guys. We're a little drunk.
That was so good. though.
Stephanie hit the button when
Yeah, I
we
didn't
did
hit
it.
yeah, I just wouldn't,
Yeah,
I
you
just
did
wouldn't
it
trade that
good.
for
That
anything.
was
And
good.
so
Stop.
I think it's really important to have that conversation with yourself. If you've poured so much of yourself into it,
Yeah.
When I want the jam spread thin, I don't mean.
There we go.
Mhm.
So, yes, now that I can see with more dedicated focus on the brand, knowing our trajectory, looking at the business plan, being able to pinpoint where these key moments are going to be, I can also very comfortably say, as this continues to grow to where I want it to scale, what's my next thing going to be?
You just admitted that you already have a ton of stuff on your plate and you can't juggle. And I know how production works, Meghan. Don't try to BS me on this crap, okay? My boyfriend's a director. He's not an idiot, and I know how it works. You're saying that you're not personally going into the editing bay. They are giving you clips to look at, and you're okaying them. I'm sure that's the extent of it. A podcast, Stephanie and I can do a podcast. I mean, big, and we don't have editors like you and people to do the sound and everything. And then what are you talking about? Your show is what jam?
I want to know who wrote that for her.
I know.
I want to know who wrote that phrase for her.
Yeah.
Because I will be using it tonight on my bio.
Because that dreaming phase and
It's-
daydreaming,
Key.
it's really key, I think, to keep your creative juices flowing. And that doesn't go anywhere. And I think a lot of that is what I'm excited about for the next phase.
What's the common thread?
She plans on living to be 1,000 years old.
But just like when I fail at this, I can't wait for the next thing that I start.
Where is Meghan buying all this time?
It's a delusional confidence.
Good Lord.
As you were going through Confessions of a Female Founder, what do you think the common thread was with the entrepreneurs that you interviewed in terms of like successful founders, the way they think about strategy? Did you find anything that you were like, they all have this?
They all, no matter their background, they all were incredibly focused. They all have regrets. They all have regrets. Most of them regretting not spending more time with their family. Or
like your dad.
taking things personally. A lot of them
That's a
talk
big
about
one.
that. You know,
Do you do that?
taking things personally?
Yes,
Yeah.
you do.
Of course, I'm
Yes.
human. And that can be really hard. So you can do all the practices and things that you want to do, but at the end of the day, you're still human. You're still going to cry. You're still going to take something to heart, especially if you've poured so much of yourself into it.
Yeah.
You know, when I want the jam spread thin, I mean spread thin on toast,
Yes.
right? I mean, I want everything that I'm
Wait, she meant that literally? What?
Thanks for clarifying.
Oh my God.
thinking about that I have poured my heart and soul into. It's not just jam. Could I just go and make a preserve somewhere and stick my name on it? Of course. Not what I wanted
That's
to
not
do. So
You still haven't told us what it is you want to do.
What do you put into it? Your fingernails, hair, sweat? What exactly from you are you putting into that jam?
Jam.
Because now, even more so, I don't want any of it.
No.
I loved that it was winning all these blind taste tests. And I loved that people,
That's not true.
Oh,
Where
now you're
did you
ju-
get
no,
that?
no.
Now you're just lying.
You're boasting
we
in
did
line.
we did a whole episode where people did the blind
Blind
wait,
taste test.
What the hell?
There were actual executives from Netflix that tried your jam and almost threw up.
You're thinking of the Daily Mail.
Well,
people.
whatever it
Yeah,
was.
let's get it right.
I was just joking. Just
I'm
now.
sure there were Netflix
I,
that were
I,
like, oh
I was,
shit.
I was kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a joke.
loved it. Oh, I was making that in my kitchen. That's how you'd feel if you're at my house. Thank you. It works. And
She peed in the jam.
Yeah,
Someone
what do you
wrote
put
that?
We don't. Yeah.
God.
so if there's some hiccup along the way that doesn't land in the same way, even like in a small internal team on how it's tracking, I go, well, okay, whew, all right. I was really excited about it, but let's think about how we can make this something that really works at scale, because I don't want this to be a niche product line. But yes, taking
Then what
things
do you want
personally
it
is a
to be?
human.
What do you
Tell us.
want?
Tell us.
You know, it's so interesting because the more I am doing this podcast, and it's interesting because it seems to be just the men, they talk about how much fun they have, like in the deal, in the failure, but like they're just like, that's fun to me. Like not like in the, I'm having fun doing my business day to day, like the hard stuff and how fun that is.
Wow.
And I think that to me, it has, it's just so interesting because as women, we tend to take things so much more personally. And that means when things don't go well, or when you have those inevitable failures, or when, you know, like whatever, like it doesn't, you have a bad drop, you have a bad product, you have something that kind of, you know, shit hits the fan, whatever it is, that becomes about us. And I feel like I've trained myself to say, like, that's not me, that's that thing, right? It's like that thing didn't work. It's not like I didn't
That's
work.
good advice.
I couldn't make it happen.
Meghan does this thing that I've noticed this whole time, and she must do this to all her friends. When someone else is talking, Meghan is not actually listening. She's doing like the All she's thinking about is what she's going to say next.
Yeah.
She doesn't internalize or have any empathy for what Emma is saying right now, because she
None.
just doesn't care.
And it just struck me somewhat, like the couple of men that have been on this podcast, and I've made a point to make sure that I have a lot of men here, because I think we have so much to learn from all of these very, very successful men. And that
You're losing her, Emma.
I hate my dad,
You're losing her.
but I hate my dad.
And I hate Harry.
mindset to me really struck me, because I was like,
Wow.
you're having fun and you are definitely not taking these failures as your own. It's just
You're like,
on to the
I'm
next
crying in
one.
the corner and you're
Right.
having
It's
a
like,
toast
you're
and
just like moving up,
having a
having
drink.
toast and jam. Like they just get,
Because
Do
she
you see-
wasn't paying attention.
But do you see though, if she has her writers give her sound bites, but on her own, she can barely form a sentence.
It's bad.
and on with it. And I thought that there's a real distinction in that somehow, that, you know, it's not about them. They can easily just say, like, this was something that happened.
I think inherently, probably just listening to what you're saying, as women, and maybe that's part of that conditioning from when we're young, we're more people pleasing as well. So in leadership, you want everyone to like you.
Yeah, you can't be a people pleaser and a leader.
Well, yeah. And
you can't.
No, and I think ultimately one of the biggest lessons.
They're both having two different conversations right now.
You can't be a people pleaser and a narcissist. That's what she meant.
That you can learn, no matter if it's in high school, because it will still feel big, or in a high profile position, or just as a business leader. No, there's not a single person in the world that everyone's going to like.
No.
So the goal cannot be that everyone likes you. The goal can be that everyone respects you.
The goal is everybody hates you.
Wait a second. Where's the respect? Do
Yeah.
people respect you, Megan? No one respects you.
Not at all.
And you peaked in high school.
I mean, you're a clown now. It's great. We love this.
And as a woman, to make peace with that, I think can be a life's work, frankly. But the moment that that can click, and that you aren't, as I've said before, in the prove it game, where you're not trying to prove something to everybody.
She's bringing up sound bites that she used on Jamie Kern Lima. She actually is bringing up sound bites.
she's plagiarizing herself at this point.
Yeah.
Body anymore, that you're very clear on who you are, and you know your intention is pure.
And notice how Emma isn't like Jamie. She's expecting Jamie to be like, I just got body shivers. This is so great,
good.
Megan.
That you can release a lot of that attachment and ultimately be much more successful, because many men would not be tethered to this idea of needing everyone to like them.
Yeah. No, it's a really, really important point. You speak a lot about financial literacy, and I know that you're interested in that space from an investment point of view.
Of course.
What's your own relationship to money like? Because that is one of the things that really evolves the older that you get. And so I wonder what that feels like now as you enter this new journey as a founder.
I think my background really informs this. I grew up clipping coupons.
You
was
grew up on
always
the Married
money
with Children
conscious.
set.
Always looking for a sale, right? In high school, college, always finding the promo code. I still go on Retail Me Not before I buy something online to see if there's a promo code, even if it's free shipping. I'm just ingrained. And
Can I just say something right now?
Sure.
Obviously Megan has been handed everything her entire life. But do I think Megan is inherently cheap? Yes, I think she is a cheap person, because just seeing what happened when she first joined the royal family, how Lady C was saying how she wanted freebies from all those designers and stuff. This makes tons of sense. I think Megan isn't. Some people are just inherently cheap,
wired in
even if
that
they have
way.
money.
And then as an auditioning actor, you never know when your next paycheck is coming. So you're very, very
You lived with
mindful of
Trevor.
Your
spending.
daddy was your patron.
And
until you moved
so I've
in
been
with
very
Trevor.
financially responsible for a long time. And I've applied that in a lot of ways where, yes, even if there is incredible capital to be able to work with to build the brand, I still want to make fiscally wise decisions that are in the best interest of the brand. I am not frivolous in spending.
She's cheap.
It's just,
It's not in you.
it's not in me.
It's
It's not in me. And so I think that is part of the learning.
I made my husband buy a $14 million mansion with his dead mom's money. It's just not in me. It's not in me.
When you have a large partner as well, that there's more comfort in numbers going out the door. Whereas I would go, well, hold on a minute.
Wait a minute.
Hold on a minute. I have a friend that can do that.
Netflix money.
No, like, I have a friend that can do that. What's the quote on that? And
I think that's a great way for you to approach it, though. I mean, that feels so responsible, and exactly as you should be running a startup, because
Megan wants people to invest in her. Megan doesn't want to actually spend her own money. That's basically what she just said.
again, I think there was a time that we were all feeling very, very different in businesses, like just chasing growth and, trying to get as big as possible. But it feels to me like what you're trying to build isn't necessarily about that. You have a distinct product and a distinct offering that you're putting out into the world. And so you have to tinker with that. You have to get it just right. And you have to do things that you're really proud of.
Yes, incredibly proud of. And also when you're not trying to be trend driven.
I thought you were proud of ARO.
There's a rush to jump on a trend. There is no rush if you're working towards something that could ultimately and hopefully become a heritage brand.
Yes.
Tell us what that brand is. You're still not telling us what it is.
When you're looking for what is like my personal aesthetic, I find it to be classic, timeless. There is a reason that
Wait a second.
No,
wait.
it's not.
I'm going to play you guys a clip tomorrow. I'm going to play you guys a clip of Sonia Morgan talking about her heritage brand. And they say, what's a heritage brand? And she says, classic, timeless. Guys,
She's copying.
she's
Real
plagiarizing Sonia Morgan here. Not only with the toaster oven and her iron, but now she's doing it here.
I'm sure there was puff sleeves were cool and trendy for a moment. I didn't catch
weren't
that
doing
trend.
them?
I wasn't doing that.
You were still in your white button down.
I was still in my crisp white button down and jeans. And so, when I look at the brand through that same lens, I think it's really important to say then there isn't the same sense of urgency and rush because you're not trying to meet a moment. You're trying to meet something that can be evergreen.
Yeah, you're doing something that's that's classic and has tradition, and and like you said, it's an
You spit on tradition, Meghan.
Yeah.
Now you're into tradition.
Nobody's gonna trust you, Meghan.
I'm talking about the royal
Yeah.
family. Yeah.
green proposition that's just going to keep growing and growing.
Yes.
Sounds like it will be a wonderful business.
Thank you.
A business for the long term.
Thank you.
What are you most proud of in your career when you think about everything that you've done today?
In my career,
Yeah.
my
Or in your like in your career and your business life.
That
if you
tripped her
like.
up.
investing in myself. I took so many years since we came over here, really, even prior to that, investing in the success of other women and their companies. And I love being able to do that as we talk about with fashion.
She watches what I watch.
And I loved being able to have a portfolio, female founders. But I do think it takes a little bit of courage to bet on yourself. And that's felt really good.
Yeah, it really does. It really, really does.
Emma is not buying any of this at this point.
I can't wait for tomorrow's
Oh my
show.
God.
What's the most surprising thing that you've learned about yourself as you've been in this brand building moment of your life?
That I can bounce back pretty easily.
Oh, Jesus.
Because you can have the best laid plans for your brand. And if you are too attached to it, when you do have to pivot, that can be crushing.
She just got done the last hour saying what success
Her
as ever
business,
is.
yeah, how-
I'm so confused at this point.
She doesn't believe it. She doesn't know what failures are.
I don't understand.
And to learn that, as I was saying earlier, it's a dance. Okay, well, let's take a minute, get our footing, and dance over here.
Yeah.
Let's twirl
what?
over there. So I think
This is ridiculous.
similar to what you're saying about men in business, being able to find the playfulness and joy in it, even though the stakes are high.
Yes.
Just really try to have fun in all of it.
It's a great muscle to try and train yourself,
Yeah.
to get there.
Yeah, to be playful
Yeah.
in it.
Playful.
Who are your idols?
The Queen.
I'm obsessed with Oprah, so if you could tell her for me, please.
I'll tell her.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, we're friends.
Do you know her? Have you met her?
Oh my God, Meghan.
Have you met her?
Okay, I met her once.
Okay.
Very recently.
How'd it go?
I'm so annoyed with myself. I don't even know why I'm telling this
This is
story.
very telling.
So I
about
know
Emma.
Gail really well.
She's
And
great.
I'm at DVF has an Oscar luncheon. I'm feeling good. It's like I've had a hard week, but I was feeling good. I look good. And I see Gail, and next to Gail is Oprah. And I'm like, Gail. And she doesn't lip read me. So I run up to Gail.
Okay.
And I'm like, you have to introduce me to Oprah. And by this point, she's gone far. She's gone up the hill. And so Gail screams Oprah! And I'm like, oh my God. And so everybody, the whole party turns to look at me. Oprah.
This story isn't about Meghan, and she is not having it right now.
She's not happy.
She's not happy.
She's not happy because Oprah's her best friend.
Yeah.
Oprah never stood in front of her while she was giving a speech at Godmother's.
No.
Oprah's her best friend.
Oprah's walking towards me. And, in my head, I've been preparing for this conversation my whole life. I have sunglasses on. I don't take the sunglasses off.
Oh,
I
that's okay.
sweat profuse.
She's
She's acting like she's Oprah.
No, she's acting like that time she was on Drew Barrymore's show.
Oh, yeah.
And Drew showed her the picture of her and Princess Diana, and she goes, "Oh, isn't that sweet?" And she kept distancing herself
Yeah.
See, she's holding my hand, and I don't even remember what I said. And I was like, oh no, that wasn't my Oprah moment. That wasn't it. But
you'll have
that for
another
me-
moment. You'll
No,
have-
there'll be listen,
Yes.
I'm 100% sure I'm channeling her into me. I'll know I'll have another
You
moment.
come up to Montecito for lunch, we can plan a lunch.
Oh my God,
Oh,
I've just
fun, and you
scored
can plan
myself a
all
date.
Megan wants Emma to sign her with something, and now she's going to use Oprah to do it.
But another thing too is that this is making Meghan uncomfortable because Meghan doesn't want to be in Emma's category. Meghan wants to be in Oprah's category. So the fact that Emma's fangirling right now is making Meghan beneath Oprah.
And Emma is like a million times more the business successful than Meghan.
But Meghan knows Oprah.
Oh, this is a burn.
This is not good. This is not a good thing to end on. We're ending on this, guys.
That's it. We can finish the podcast now. Bye. But is there anyone that gives you the...
Oh, Emma just said we can finish the podcast. Bye.
Like, forget about you.
I'm
going to go meet Oprah. Ooh.
Oh, look at Megan's face.
Oprah sweats like I got.
Oh, dude. She's seething.
She wants to kill her.
Here, try some bath salts.
Or maybe not the sweats, just someone that you admire or you just find so intriguing or whatever it might be.
Oh gosh, there's so many people in business, male and female. We talked about Melody Hobson. I admire her so much. Her business acumen.
Look at her trying to think of people that she says she admires.
She's to say Princess Diana.
And
how long do you think?
How long does it take
to answer a question like this?
Catherine.
I think there's probably too many to count, and a lot.
There's too. She comes through with there's too many. There's too many. Because if she mentions one, that's putting that person above her.
No,
narcissists cannot idolize anyone because they are the true god of gods.
There's just too many.
There's too many.
A lot of it also comes down to there are going to be people that are so well known, and then they're close friends that value their privacy in a different way that I want to say their names so badly right now. But one of my idols is my very best friend.
Dropping those names for the last year.
What are you talking about?
Those lemon baskets were trying to drop those names.
Yeah,
what do you got now, Meghan? Chrissy Teigen? What do you got, Chrissy Teigen?
What about Jamie Kern Lima?
Yeah, you should drop that chick's name.
She built $1 billion empire. You can't even say Jamie's name right now.
And Oprah's your best friend, and she wouldn't even put up the lemon basket.
This is nuts.
Guys, this is throwing her off.
I just have so many friends. I mentioned Serena already, and what a great businesswoman she is. I already name dropped her. I've name dropped Oprah. I've name dropped all these people. But guess what? When you ask me that question on who I admire in the business field, I'm not going to do it because I want to keep their privacy.
Meghan wants to say, can I say myself?
Yeah. Am I allowed to say myself?
She's the godmother to our children. I love how she carries herself in business. I think she is just a remarkable human being.
Godmother to her
Lip read me, so I run up to Gail.
Okay, keep going.
For a moment, like that wasn't it.
But
you'll have another moment.
There'll be. Listen, I'm 100% sure. I'm channeling her into me. Like I'll have another moment.
You come up to Montecito for lunch. We can plan a lunch.
Oh my God, I've
be
just
fun?
scored myself a date. That's it. We can finish the podcast now. Bye. But is there anyone that gives you the Oprah sweats like I got? Or maybe not the sweats, just someone that you admire or you just find so intriguing or whatever it might be.
Oh gosh, there's so many people in business, male and female. We talked about Melody Hobson. I admire her so much. Her business acumen. I think there's probably too many to count. And a lot of it also comes down to there are going to be people that are so well known, and then they're close friends that value their privacy in a different way that I want to say their names so badly right now. But one of my idols is my very best friend. She's the godmother to our children. I love how she carries herself in business. I think she is just a remarkable human being. So it's important to say that the idols.
Gloria Steinem, maybe?
No, she's
I'm trying to think. Let's see. Tyler Perry's the godfather. So I'm trying to think of who she would appoint the godmother.
It's Abigail Spencer. I guarantee she's trying. Listen, you're going to hear in a couple weeks that she's teaming up with Abigail Spencer with her County Line Florals. That's what you're going to hear allegedly.
Serena Williams might be it.
That exist on a very large scale. There's value there without question. But you can sometimes look at the people that are right in front of you and see them as idols as well.
Yeah. Listen, life gets really...
That was a simple question, guys. Who is your idol? Who gives you the Oprah sweats? Who? And she couldn't just answer the damn question.
Good. when you are like that with your idols, when they're in your life.
Yeah.
And that's something that you can say with honesty. I think that's pretty impressive, actually.
Emma was giving her a chance to be down to earth. Did you see that? She was giving her a chance to be a little bit of a fangirl and go, you know what? I'm gonna humble myself, and I'm gonna say, you know what? My fashion icon is Jennifer Aniston. I love her. I used to follow her in the 90s, the 2000s, and now. I think she's great. She gave Meghan that chance to be one of us, and Meghan blew it.
Said, my friends are so famous, I can't
mention my friends because they're so darn famous.
Show humility. It's like we're just two dorky twins.
You
who
had
love
a chance.
Barry Manilow and Squid Game
and Princess Catherine.
And we can admit it.
Really do. Looking ahead, what audacious goal do you have that you are like looking forward to and is like on your mind right now?
Oh, goodness. The scale of this business. I don't know if that's an audacious goal. Is it audacious?
Yeah, I think so.
I'll take that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll take that.
And then what comes after that?
What does come after that? What do you have do you know what you want to be doing in the next 10 years?
Not exactly, but probably in the wheelhouse of what it could be. I want to continue to work with really strong, creative people. I want to tap into the audience.
She wants to social climb. That's what she wants to do.
And the demographic that's with me in that present moment.
What's your demographic?
And so this is one chapter. Life has many chapters. And you have to think, and the next 10 years, we're both going to be in our 50s. Get excited. It's going to be great.
Are you excited?
Yeah. Would you ever do your 20s again?
Yes. No, I can't.
Hard no.
I can't even get the words out.
No.
My 20s are choking me. Absolutely not, never.
No. So girls, enjoy your 20s right now.
Yeah,
if it's hard, don't worry. It will pass.
You do that. It will pass.
I think the 50s are going to be great. That will be a different audience I'm speaking to, or they will have grown with me. So I'm sort of noodling on what I want to do then.
I'll
and
be
that planning
single.
starts now.
That planning really starts now.
Yeah.
Finally, what advice would you give your younger self about ambition, about purpose, about public life? What would you say?
That is such a full question.
Go on, give me a full answer.
Oh my goodness. Well, I would say that life is full of surprises.
Oh Jesus!
And
That's
also
not
that
an answer.
Life is short.
That's not an
answer.
answer.
I really believe that no matter what anyone is going through, that if you are able to say that, yes, this is going to pass, or this is amazing and let's really embrace it, that you're ultimately going to have that perspective we talked about earlier. You know that Khalil Gibran book, A Tear and a Smile?
Be talking to your younger self.
You need both.
It's such a good one.
You need both in this life.
What?
And I think the moment that you can recognize that both are going to be true in your life, you can not just be in acceptance of it, you can actually be in gratitude for it.
What?
And to see what others might say is, I don't know, Jordan has a great quote, and I'm going to butcher it.
Jordan?
But he literally says, there are no failures, because every time I failed, I was learning something. So you're actually winning, because that knowledge is what you carry with you. So I think.
What?
Yeah, my younger self, gosh, she was my 15-year-old self. She was class president. She was multicultural club president. She was so busy. And
this chick peaked, man, at the dishwasher.
She peaked in high school.
She peaked in high school. She will never stop talking about that dish soap commercial, man.
High school
I was class president. I was homecoming queen. Look at me. I was the bully, baby.
Yeah, she peaked.
Yeah, I think my 15-year-old self would be really proud of me today.
No, you're supposed to be giving her advice,
No,
Meghan.
the question was, give
yourself advice.
Your younger self.
Not what do you think your younger self would think of you now?
Happy.
You should be.
Thanks.
I have no doubt.
Thanks,
no
Emma.
doubt.
Say Jordan Peterson.
What are you currently aspiring for in your business life?
Michael Jordan.
Success, not just financial success, emotional success.
Great answer. And what are you currently aspiring for in your personal life?
Success.
Why? You know what? Happiness. I would have accepted joy. I would have. She's tripping up.
Emotional success. Yeah.
Emotional.
Happiness.
There you go.
What is a book that changed your life?
Ooh, Atomic Habits.
She knew that one quick. Ooh, Atomic Habits.
Ooh.
I'm surprised she did go. Oh, The Art of War.
A good one.
It is a great
It's
book.
a great book.
Yeah, Atomic
book.
Habits, The Four Agreements.
Oh, another really good one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Different
both on my
ends of the
list. I was just
spectrum.
going to total different ends of the spectrum, but equally
Teachable moments.
valuable. Yeah, really, really teachable. What's something that you valued when
The bench.
you were starting out that you no longer value?
It's not that I no longer value it, but decision by committee, meaning when you're like, do you think it's good? 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 Do you like that? Do you think it's good? Well, if you start asking everybody all the time, you will be dizzy with the ideas of it. So instead, ask your 2 trusted people or 3, whatever your handful of your
Little committee.
your consigliere
Yeah.
is, and then trust yourself.
What's something that you value now that you didn't back in the day?
Giving myself permission to take the space and the time that I need.
What?
The space for grace. Giving yourself a minute until you feel clear and you feel confident is key. And at the beginning, I probably did feel a little bit more like, okay, well, if there's expectation, at the moment that you can just like rejig that, I appreciate that I'm there now.
It's all about her.
I love that one. Beautiful. Thank you so much.
You see, she's and then there Emma ends it with like, I need to, of course, give her a little bit of props because she's going to then have her people tell me that I can't run this, but I need to run this show because it's going to give me more views.
I got to give credit to Emma for keeping the comments on. I mean, her people are over there erasing them right now, but I mean, they're good for you, Emma.
That was the most self-serving. That was way worse than anything I could even imagine. That was way worse than the Lima Chick podcast. This was because it really did. The ending tripped her up, and it's very reminiscent of when Harry was on the NYC or was it New York Times panel, and they asked him, "Where are you going to be in 5 years? Where do you think you're going to be in 10 years?" And Harry could not answer the question. Could not for the life of him.
It's something that and I told you guys this when we did the New York Times panel, it's something therapists will ask you if you are stuck in a relationship. I went to couples counseling when I was married, and they'll ask you questions like, where do you see yourself in 10 years? And then in 5 years. And if you close your eyes and you can't think immediately of your spouse being with you in 10 years, and you can't actually have a focused thing, then you're in trouble. So I'm just saying, Meghan and Harry do not see
themselves together in 10 years, 5 years. No, they don't.
My 50s are going to be awesome.
It's going to be great.
I won't have Harry.
It's all about new chapters.
Yeah.
This chapter will close eventually, Emma. This will fail as well.
I mean, who talks like that about something they're excited about? That's like Stephanie and I going on here every day and going, I can't wait for this chapter of our podcast to end.
And then like dropping the names and not answering specific questions. I mean, these questions were so easy. A child would be able to answer these. Let's say a kid did start up a lemonade stand, okay? And they went to their mom and they got, Mom, I got to start up this lemonade stand. Give me, can I maybe invest $20 and I'll give you, your investment back at the end of the day. I swear I'll make $20. Meghan could have answered it like that.
Yeah.
Like a child would answer something like, oh, I started sewing pillows together and now I'm selling them to my class. Mom, Dad, help me do a startup. Meghan did not answer anything. It was all this boasting herself and making herself seem grand and elegant.
It was bad.
It was bad. That was way worse than I thought.
Yeah, I give credit.
We went through about that much.
Well, it was here.
It was here, and we went to here.
I got to give credit to Emma, though. She did press. She did press.
She did. She was a little. I understood her. She was an intellectual bully.
Clothes. She's going to white label. Yeah, she's gonna like what Kim does and what the Kardashians
She's gonna put her name on
a label. Right. Yeah, no, it's already going to be made in she'll go to a designer.
So Emma's comments are still turned on. I'm going to go look at the number.
Yeah.
I'm going to look at the number right now.
What's the number right now?
We had about 5,000 in the chat, so hopefully you guys do not click on to the podcast.
You can do whatever you want.
Just watched it. You don't need to click onto hers, but I'm going to go look at the number right now. This should be interesting. What is this? What is she on YouTube?
Right now you have. Yeah.
I'm not on this stuff. You got the apps. I don't like the apps on my phone. I get all because then you become a slave to your phone. You got to go to the app, and it's like, okay.
It's been 15 hours and she's only at 50K.
Okay.
Yikes.
Those aren't great numbers.
Yikes.
Those
What
aren't
about
great.
her global community? They should have watched it by now. She's going global.
She went
going
from,
global.
yeah, she went global.
God, that was so bad.
Because I hope so. And did you see also, the turning the tables? If she didn't like the question that was lobbed to her, she switched it up. What sign are you?
Yeah, what sign?
Well, wait, Evan should have been like, I don't know. I'm a Libra. Who gives a shit? Like answer the question. Sorry, Mom. We said the S word a lot for Mom in this.
Oh, how could we have not?
I know. It was a shite show.
Okay, we're gonna go process this, you guys. It's so rough.
We got all our notes.
Yeah,
We're gonna do probably. I want to do tomorrow's show.
We're gonna do the comments too, because
Yeah.
a lot of you.
We're gonna do
God.
comments and clips.
Yeah, we're gonna do the comments. A lot of you have been awesome and have been sending me the comments that you've screenshotted, and we're gonna read the best ones tomorrow. So thank you for that. And
Since I have so many people in the chat,
you don't want them to see you're wearing boxer shorts.
I'm wearing Nancy's boyfriend's boxer shorts right now, and I didn't
Yeah,
want everyone to
go
see that.
Oilers! Yay!
Yay! Okay, guys, everybody. I wrote a book. It's a children's book called "My Really Special, Super Terrific, One of a Kind Dog," and all of the profits that Nancy and I make off the book will go to animal charities. So you can go to Amazon.com, pick up your copy. It's a little delightful tale about a kid who goes to the local animal shelter and finds his very special, super terrific, one of a kind dog that happens to only have 3 legs.
Look how easy it was for you to explain something.
Look how I explained my product.
She has a product. She explained it because she knew what it was about.
Yeah.
She had it in her head already.
I know where the money is going to go.
Go.
I know the metric of the money.
The capital.
I know how the animal charities will use the money because I do research on the animal charities. So, all right, guys, thanks for everyone who's been watching this with us. You guys are troopers, and we love you. And we will see you either later today or we will see you tomorrow for our show.
Yeah.
And you guys, I love you guys so much.
We're so lucky.
Man, I love you guys.
Yeah.
Do you believe in magic in a young girl's heart?